The set is buzzing, and a crew member is practically yelling at Key Man Song to speed it up. He's all like, yeah, I'm on it, as another person drops the bomb, a new actor is hitting the scene. Backstage, Kim Myung-jin is getting his face on, but he's totally clocking Key Man Song, who's just zoned out, lost in his own head. Myung-jin's face just snaps into annoyance, like he's had enough of whatever's going on. Script in hand, he's laying down the law, I'm a supporting actor, and I'm not pulling any punches, got it? Nobody on this set ever wanted to be a background extra, but today. Today was the day everything changed. Director Kong, the man in charge, is barking orders, telling everyone to hustle up because they're already behind schedule. The absolute legend, Director Kong, the top dog in Chung Moo-ro, finally getting his own movie made, is ready to drop the hammer and get this show on the road. He's gotta get noticed, and right on cue, the clapperboard cracks, and Director Kang's voice explodes. Then, BAM. The epic historical battle scene hits, a massive army, drums pounding, dong dong dong, across the entire field. The scale is insane, he's totally blown away, just for a second, he's speechless at the sheer production value. But Director Kong snaps him back to reality, yelling, Mr. Kim, you're up, and Kim Myung-jin is all, yes, director, ready to go. This is it. The epic scene where General Kim, played by Kim Myung-jin, leads his army to glory, a massive, sweeping shot of the entire army charging into battle. Then, the soldiers on the front lines snap their muskets up, a deafening, ready, AIM, fire, rips through the air, smoke and thunder everywhere. The tang 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 of gunfire explodes all around him, impacts kicking up dirt, and he's thinking, seriously, how much cash did they drop on these insane effects? Debris flies everywhere with a deol-keek crash, the battlefield is pure chaos. And the impacts just keep coming, tang 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 everywhere, the battle is absolutely relentless. Against the epic backdrop of a city under a blood moon, the actors are locked in, watching the action unfold, and the old man's voice just booms, full of unexpected energy. His co-star, Kim Myung-jin, unleashes a guttural, primal scream, his face twisted into an absolute war mask. Sang Ji, the old man, is still screaming orders, his command to kill all those bastards hitting with insane energy. Suddenly, a red blur streaks across the frame, it's Key Man Song, moving at ludicrous speed. Kim Myung-jin doesn't even have time to blink before he's sent flying, his body snapping back from the sheer force. Key Man Song, now a general on horseback, charges straight into the enemy lines, a one-man army against impossible odds. Armored figures surge forward, following his lead. Elsewhere, an actress watches the chaos, thinking, shouldn't I have more lines, but then she snaps back, telling herself not to be greedy and just crush it in this war movie. Kim Myung-jin hits the dirt, a raw, agonizing scream ripping through the air as the very ground shatters around him. He watches, desperate, as the other actor screams, begging him to get up, to fight, to not give in. But the fallen star stays down, his desperate cries echoing across the war-torn set. Meanwhile, the hero stands tall amidst the chaos, enemy forces scattering, a triumphant roar of victory erupting. His eyes blaze with an unyielding, fierce intensity. But the fallen actor, still down, desperately screams warnings to the retreating troops, get out. Stay away. Above the chaos, the director yells, cut, leaving our hero bewildered, wondering if he messed up his line. He reaches for the fallen actor, still thinking it's all part of the show, telling him to snap out of it, the scene's done. But as his hand connects, he sees it, the chilling, pale blood staining his palm. This isn't acting. He's gotta snap him out of it, he thinks, just as the director's voice explodes, action. Heart hammering in his chest, he extends a hesitant hand. The contact is chilling, and his own heartbeat thunders in his ears. He gasps, seeing the actor's ashen face, eyes shut, utterly still. His eyes blow wide with pure dread, the terrifying truth slamming into him, he's not breathing. Doubled over, his mind races, the words a choked whisper, he's, really. Then, the world rips apart, and he's plunged into a desolate, shadowy forest, skeletal trees clawing at the sky. Just as reality shattered around him, a final, frantic thought screamed through his head, I need to get his attention, before the jarring shout of action, ripped through the air. A soft rustle of fabric, and Key Man Song's hand reaches out. His eyes locked on an unseen target, a thought burning in his mind, I need to get his attention. Then, with a quiet swish, he drops to the ground, head bowed in intense contemplation. Only to rise and confront a shadowy gathering of figures, their forms barely visible in the shimmering haze. He gasps, a sudden, furious shout ripping through the air, "Hey! What are you doing?" He's completely surrounded by a chorus of worried voices, what's he doing? He's just a kid. He's gonna get himself killed. But even as the shouts of "Hey! What are you doing?" ring out, his face is set with unwavering determination. He whips around, a flash of surprise and irritation in his eyes, demanding to know what the hell is going on. Kim Myung-jin stares, his face etched with raw concern, a desperate, unspoken plea hanging in the air. Suk-jun's face is a mask of pure anguish as he tries to get the words out, a frantic, broken warning about the unfolding disaster. Kim Myung-jin and Suk-jun confront him, their combined anxiety practically screaming. Old man Sang Ji-i's voice shatters with desperation, screaming that lives are being lost and demanding immediate action. His hand clenches into a white-knuckled fist, a tremor running through him, as he grits out, I know, I know. Director Kang's face is a portrait of pure agony as he delivers the crushing news, the words, he just died. People are dying, ripping from his throat. But through the chaos and despair, Ki Man Song's eyes lock onto something unseen, his face transforming into a mask of absolute, unyielding resolve. Ki Man Song lays down the law, his voice a steel-edged warning. This isn't a game, it's a brutal battlefield. He doesn't hold back, hammering home the horrifying truth, hundreds of thousands perish here every single day. Power pulses, a soft glow radiating from his hand, a silent testament to his formidable strength. He locks eyes with the kid, confirming their grim fate, they're just like all the others, thrown into this meat grinder. A sudden shift. His gaze sharpens, a raw, unbridled emotion flashing in his eyes. The tension mounts on his face, a silent battle raging beneath the surface. Then, a sudden, sharp intake of breath. He clamps a hand over his mouth, trying to hold back a visceral reaction. A desperate plea rips from him, his hand reaching out, demanding to know, Hey. Are you okay? His face contorts with raw worry, his eyes locked onto the unfolding disaster. His mind is a whirlwind, a torrent of fragmented memories and distant echoes, as a crushing wave of sorrow slams into him. Then, a chilling vision, a young girl, eyes wide with terror, materializes before him, her tiny voice a desperate plea. Reality itself shatters, dissolving into an ethereal, blinding glow, a pure, raw distortion of everything. He stares down, his face a mask of agony, a single, burning tear escaping his glowing eye, a testament to his crushing despair. A guttural cry rips from his throat, his hand clamping over his mouth, eyes blown wide with an unbearable, soul-crushing anguish. Kim Myung-jin, witnessing the distant chaos, snaps his gaze to Ki Man Song, his face etched with alarm, demanding to know what the hell is going on. Ki Man Song crumples, his body convulsing with raw emotion, a broken figure consumed by despair. Amidst his broken sobs, the spectral image of the young girl flickers back, her presence a haunting, agonizing echo in his shattered mind. His face a mask of pure agony, he lets out a raw, guttural cry, tears streaming as he stares upward, utterly consumed by his overwhelming sorrow. Still reeling from the emotional onslaught, he gazes skyward, his face contorted in pure anguish. Then, a sudden flashback. A voice echoes, Hey, is your back sore? And his younger self retorts, if I hadn't fallen, it would have been over. But the present reality slams back, and he crumples, a primal scream ripping through the air, His vision now obscured by a blindfold, he remains unaware as Kim Myung-jin observes him with a pained expression. The veteran actor's worry etched onto his face. Under the cloak of darkness, Kim Myung-jin finds him still slumped on the ground, gently insisting, even if you're not hungry, try to get something in you. The blindfolded figure can only manage a soft, questioning sound. Ki Man Song's head twitches, his voice a mere whisper as he acknowledges the figure before him, Oh. See. Sir. Kim Myung-jin's face is still a picture of deep concern, his mind focused on the legendary figure before him, Chung Moo-ro's star actor. He repeats his plea for him to eat, then reveals crucial intel, their lord is abandoning the war, and once he's back in the capital, they'll finally be free. In a haunting flashback, a battle-hardened elder lays down the law, demanding nothing less than survival and total dedication to defending their home. A young girl, her eyes wide with worry, nods along, then bravely challenges him, asking if he shouldn't focus on healing, no matter how tough it gets. Under the oppressive canopy of a twilight forest, their forms are stark against the fading light, a silent tableau of shared burden. Her gaze drops, a quiet moment of reflection. A lone tear streaks down the elder's face, a silent testament to his hidden pain. She turns away, her long braid swaying gently. Her eyes meet his again, a question hanging in the air, does he recall her brother, Han Yong? A ghost of a smile plays on his lips as he confirms, the name of Han Yong. Her eyes burning with resolve, the young girl proclaims, she wants to reach that place, too. A young girl's face lights up, as the grizzled man tells her to seize her chance, no reason not to. He promises to take her there if things get tough, and she, with a hopeful giggle, asks if they can go to that special place together once it's all done. Her eyes, gleaming with a fragile hope, betray a deeper uncertainty. But the dreamlike clarity shatters, a voice screaming internally, this can't be real, can it? The emotions are too raw, too intense for just a dream. His eyes, now heavy with an unbearable sorrow, gaze into the void, the silent question echoing, when will this nightmare end? Suddenly, the young girl's voice pierces the gloom, calling out to Mr. Kim, her eyes locked on a distant point as she declares her desperate wish to go there. A solitary ship slices through the inky blackness, a silent journey towards an unknown fate. High above, a single, brilliant star pierces the cosmic canvas, a solitary light in the endless night. The vision violently snaps to a scene of pure devastation. The young girl desperately cradles a fallen boy, her cries of "brother" tearing through the air, as the grizzled man watches, utterly powerless. Trapped in the agonizing memory, a young girl's eye wells up, her voice a desperate plea for her brother. Clutching a dark object, she hears a man's voice, a concerned shout cutting through the air. Tears streaming, she looks up, her only desperate wish to reach Han Yong. The memory's raw anguish rips through Ki Man Song, his face a mask of pure, silent despair. A primal scream rips from his throat, fuck, echoing as the brutal vision shatters his mind, raw emotional energy exploding around him. Just like that, the memory explodes. A harsh cut rips through the air, followed by praise for the work and good acting, snapping him out of the past like a broken spell. Dazed and confused, Ki Man Song snaps back to reality, his eyes darting around as he stammers, a bewildered Excuse me, trying to make sense of it all. A worried face appears, a woman's gentle voice asking if he can just let her go. His hand, still shaking from the nightmare, is gently cradled by hers as he finally sees her, a soft escaping his lips in a moment of raw vulnerability. He's coming back. His eyes slowly flutter open, a soft rustling sound barely registering. Then, a heavy thud snaps him fully back to reality. Ki Man Song is absolutely hammering the keyboard, fingers a blur as he types away. He's talking to himself, frantically asking, where did it go? Where is it? But across the room, Director Kong is also tapping away, though his eyes are locked onto something else entirely. Ki Man Song gasps in shock as Kong suddenly barks, "Hey! Who is this kid?" He spins around, totally confused, while Kong taps the screen, pointing out, "I'm talking about this." Ki Man Song tries to play dumb, saying he has no idea, but Kong is not having it. "Fine," he snaps, "so you can't even tell me that?" Ki Man Song slams his hand on the keyboard in pure frustration, muttering, "Man." But Kong is still stewing, clearly conflicted. It's too good to just ditch. What am I supposed to do? A chilling title card flashes across the screen, the movie is real. Then, a sudden, disorienting whoosh, a plunge into the unknown. Suddenly, a man's face twists in pure agony, a choked cry tearing from his throat. His eyes blaze with an eerie green glow, his mind racing as he desperately questions if he's gone insane, or if the nightmare he just lived through was actually real, the chilling truth sending shivers down his spine. A sharp, insistent beep from a computer mouse pierces the suffocating quiet. His face, now flushed with a faint red glow, trembles violently, his feet dragging, barely able to hold him upright. Each heavy, dragging step echoes his inner turmoil as he cries out, unsure if he can ever act again, praying it was all a nightmare, and that Mr. Kim is safe and sound. Then, a sudden, jarring cut to a small child, standing silently, facing a wall. An image of a house emerges, a beacon of unexpected, profound comfort. His mind is a whirlwind, screaming at the impossible reality he just lived through, a feeling so real it's burned into his soul, yet makes absolutely no sense. He bolts upright in bed, the sheer shock of it all hitting him like a physical blow. His fingers are a blur, slamming keys and clicking the mouse, tearing through the internet for any shred of an explanation. His desperate search query flashes on screen, movies to reality, he's trying to make sense of the insane. He scrolls, a torrent of terrifying words like supernatural activity and delusions assaulting his vision, each one chipping away at his sanity. A broken laugh escapes him, the crushing weight of this new, terrifying reality forcing him to concede, to just go back to being an actor. Later, out on the bustling city streets, he walks past towering buildings, his mind still churning. He looks up, a flicker of something new in his eyes. And then, a ghost of a smile, a hint of acceptance or perhaps a new, dangerous determination, as he moves forward. He lets out a heavy sigh, a silent acknowledgement of his new reality, brushing off any thought of the hospital. His feet hit the pavement, and he blends into the crowd, a quiet, good job, signaling the wrap of the day. The car's sleek surface gleams under the setting sun. As a staff member gives it a final, thorough wipe, and he just watches, taking in the everyday routine. An older man, briefcase in hand, makes his exit, thanking everyone for a job well done. As the crowd disperses, he thinks to himself, nothing's changed, a stark realization after everything he's been through. A hand extends, passing over a small card, a subtle transaction in the bustling environment. Then, a voice cuts through the noise, "Mr. Ki Man Song," it asks, and he replies with a surprised, "Yes." The man presses on, his words hitting hard, "The director wants to see you." Ki Man Song echoes the question, a new resolve sparking in his gaze, "The director asked for me?" The set is buzzing, but all eyes are on Ki Man Song, who's just taking it all in. Then, the legendary Kim Myung-jin steps up, ready to make a move. Ki Man-song's focus locks onto the legend, as Kim Myung-jin starts dropping some serious words. Kim Myung-jin's face is a mystery behind those shades, but his message? Pure, undeniable truth. A quick nod, and Kim Myung-jin is out, promising a rematch, his footsteps fading into the background. Ki Man-song freezes, a flicker of surprise on his face as Kim Myung-jin's voice cuts through the air, calling out about his performance yesterday. The words hit hard, a powerful statement that his acting was absolutely legendary. A light tap snaps him back to reality, and he spins around to face director Kang, who's got something to say. He snaps to attention, confirming his presence, while the director, with a casual grin, apologizes for holding him up. Ki Man-song is all in, ready for whatever the director needs, who then pivots, a serious look on his face, clearly about to drop a bombshell question. Director Kang hits Ki Man-song with a direct question, do you want a bigger role? And just like that, Ki Man-song is locked in, his mind racing. Kang lets out a small sigh, explaining it's not a huge part, but it's packed with more dialogue, and he's convinced Ki Man-song has the chops to nail it, no matter how tough the acting challenge. Ki Man-song is absolutely ecstatic, thanking him like crazy, vowing to deliver, while director Kang just smiles, confirming his total faith in the actor. Ki Man-song starts wondering what kind of role it is, and then Kang drops the bomb, a prisoner of war, who gets tortured and dies. Talk about intense. Lights, camera, action. The crew's buzzing, getting ready for a take, making sure the star is totally bound for the scene, it's all part of the show, right? Ki Man-song, tied up and ready to go, still manages to quip about the ropes being too tight, then a crew member drops a bombshell, what if we add a reveal mid-scene? He just laughs it off, but you can tell he's a little unsure. He nods, fair point, good effects, but then it's crunch time, get ready, 10 seconds till we roll. Taking a deep breath, Ki Man-song steels himself, declaring, I can take it now. His gaze sharpens just as the director yells, ready, action. The action call hits, and suddenly, his face twists, the set vanishes into a starry abyss, and a chilling thought echoes, again. He swallows hard, his face now a mask of pure terror. The memory explodes, ancient figures, desperate, scream at him to talk, threatening his head if he stays silent, begging him to save them because they're at their breaking point. The nightmare rages on. A man, tied and silenced, burns with rage as a furious voice vows, you bastard. I'll kill you. But around him, others are in sheer panic, a woman weeping, another pleading for her life, and a child screaming for his mom. His terrified eyes lock onto something unseen, as a desperate voice cries out, please, Ki Man-song. His mind fights back against the overwhelming reality, desperately trying to convince himself, this is just acting. But the memory is too damn real, a chilling, piercing sound echoing deep within him. A single tear breaks free, the raw emotion completely consuming him. He tries to fight it off, a silent F***ck escaping his mind. Then, the horrifying truth hits him, a chilling certainty, no way this is acting. A guttural scream tears from his throat, his body shaking violently as the insane truth of the past crashes down on him. Trapped and powerless, he fights against invisible chains, a nightmare vision tearing through his mind as he screams out in sheer desperation. Tears streaming down his face, he challenges the very arrogance of his tormentors, demanding to know how long this nightmare can possibly endure. Then, a sickening tear rips through the air, a brutal sound of something shattering. His eyes snap wide open in absolute horror, as the brutal truth hits him, they're actually killing people. He screams for it to stop. He lunges forward, a desperate hand reaching out, screaming if they've gone mad, demanding they stop this madness. The world blurs as he's thrown back, his body crashing down, overwhelmed by the sheer brutality. Dazed and numb, he glares up, a single, defiant word escaping him as he confronts the unseen horror. Suddenly, a primal scream rips from his lungs, his eyes burning with an infernal red glow as a chilling, mocking laugh echoes all around him. His eyes blaze with pure rage, as the unseen voice mocks him, declaring the gates of hell are wide open and daring him to enter. A glowing blade descends with a heavy, metallic KWANG, and he stands there, a lone silhouette against the void, just waiting for the final strike. His eyes, now absolutely blazing with a furious red glow, reflect the raw agony and rage simmering deep within his soul. Fragmented, nightmarish memories flash through his mind, a younger version of himself, his mother's worried voice echoing, my son, and the chilling, visceral sensation of a wound on his neck. Tears stream down his face as he lets out an absolute wail of frustration, cursing his fate and screaming, am I really going to die without accomplishing anything? A single, burning tear escapes his red glowing eye, the memory of that neck wound still agonizingly fresh. His acting is so next level, the entire crew is absolutely floored, with one person barely able to whisper about how insane his performance is. The director, totally locked in, is just thinking to himself, that was absolutely superb acting, a performance that hits him right in the feels. He shouts for the next scene, but then, a split second later, he's totally confused, asking himself, what's going on? The actor's sudden stillness is seriously freaking him out. Both the director and another crew member are just staring, their faces screaming, what, over and over, as a super weird vibe takes over the whole set. Then, out of nowhere, a crew member yells out Ki Man Song's name, then shouts, Mr. Ki Man Song, right as he totally collapses. The director, face totally twisted in alarm, screams that he's passed out, pure panic in his voice. Later, an 4 drip is just chilling next to a hospital bed, the clear stuff steadily flowing. Ki Man Song starts to move, letting out a soft gasp as he slowly comes back to reality, his eyes popping open. His light brown eye, wide and totally disoriented, mirrors the harsh hospital lights, a silent "what just happened" in its depths. He shoots up in the hospital bed, his mind reeling from the shock of waking up. His hand flies to his neck, a low hum escaping him as he struggles to grasp reality. Suddenly, a woman's voice breaks through the haze, checking if he's okay, her gaze fixed on him from across the room. He locks eyes with her, a name escaping him, desperate to know if this whole nightmare was just a dream. Gu Ju-yeon watches him, a hint of concern in her expression, while he keeps humming, clearly still out of it. His eyes snap open, the chilling question of his own life ringing in his ears. Gu Ju-yeon just stares, her expression unreadable. She offers him a drink, and he takes it, a confused thanks barely escaping his lips. A sly smile crosses her face as she praises his acting, dropping a major hint that she's got secrets. He groans, his head pounding, the world spinning as he struggles to comprehend where he is and what just happened. Ki Man Song looms over a guy chilling on a bed, his face giving nothing away. Director Kong observes, a deep thought etched across his features. Switching scenes to a film set, Director Kong is all animated talk with Ki Man Song, who then just chills, puffing out a cloud of smoke. Gu Ju-yeon shouts, yelling, cut, then immediately thanks Ki Man Song for putting in the effort. She then drops the bomb, I'll see you all at the interviews, and bounces, leaving Ki Man Song to ponder her parting words, thank you for your hard work. Then, a familiar voice cuts through, and he snaps his head up, recognizing Gu Ju-yeon. She hits him with a cheerful greeting, checking in on him, but her knowing smile hints she's already got his number, a fact he tries to brush off with a quick, awkward laugh. They keep moving, the buzz about the screening picking up, so they hustle to get to the viewing room before it kicks off. Inside, the massive screen lights up, flashing the title card for some epic historical drama, 1593 Hyungdu Castle. As the scenes explode on screen, Ki Man Song is totally rocked, a crazy sense of déjà vu hitting him hard. Even though he knows how it all goes down, the brutal battle footage just crushes him, making him wonder if his own acting can ever match this intensity. His eyes blaze with an unholy red glow, mirroring the agony of a dying warrior on screen. He's hit with an insane impulse to jump in, unable to just stand there and watch the pain. His hand shoots out, a desperate, silent plea to the past. He knows he's just a guy, no hero, but the idea of doing nothing, of letting everyone die, is absolutely crushing him. The screen explodes with pure battle chaos, a whirlwind of blades and screams, a vision that's totally swallowing him whole. The movie's over, but the show isn't. A presenter hits the stage, hyping up the incredible talent behind this cinematic masterpiece. The cast and crew take their bows, soaking in the cheers, and the crowd goes wild with applause. Ki Man Song, still reeling from the film, joins the thunderous applause, his hands echoing the crowd's appreciation. But something's off, a weird sensation hits him, his fingers practically buzzing with an unknown power. He can't sit still, tapping his fingers impatiently, the movie's epic scene still playing on repeat in his head. That movie was seriously good, he thinks, but was Kim Hyun-jin's performance really that mind-blowing? Suddenly, he's talking to Han Yong, a young boy who's all fired up, declaring Kim Hyun-jin the absolute best and exclaiming, if the general was like that, we'd be like this. Ki Man Song brushes off the kid's comment, but Han Yong isn't backing down, challenging his take on the tragic character who died, calling him a real cut-off. Ki Man Song's gaze sharpens, a burning intensity in his eyes, still gripped by the past, as he challenges the boy, asking if he didn't feel it too, that raw, undeniable sensation of being there. His finger lifts from the elevator button, a quiet affirmation escaping him that this moment, for now, was enough. As the doors open, a voice calls out, addressing him directly. Turning with a surprised expression, he responds to the unexpected summons. A woman's hand extends a business card, offering a quick apology as he takes it. His eyes widen in disbelief as he reads the name and company, a silent, no way, forming in his mind. The woman, Gu Ju-yeon, introduces herself as being from MS Entertainment, then bows respectfully, explaining her purpose for seeking him out. The massive MS corporate tower looms, its glass facade glinting under the sun. Down below, a figure stares up at the colossal structure, a single thought burning in his mind, what am I even doing here? But hesitation quickly fades as he strides forward, each step a declaration of intent. He's in. A quick glance at his phone, and the internal confirmation rings clear. A fleeting thought crosses his mind, a memory of someone looking pretty nice, and he can't help but concur. Then, a crisp, professional voice cuts through the air, directly addressing him. "Thank you for coming, Mr. Ki Man-song." Standing before him, a sharp-dressed woman with sleek dark hair and glasses greets him with a knowing smirk. "I knew you'd make it here to MS." A soft chuckle escapes the woman's lips, as Ki Man-song finds himself seated across from her, a contract laid out between them. Her voice, smooth and confident, then asks, "Then, shall we get to signing a contract?" Ki Man-song listens intently, his gaze fixed on the document. Internally, he admits, "Man, I really have no clue on everything she's saying." Despite his confusion, a hopeful smile spreads across his face as he concludes, "Well, I guess she's presenting me a good deal." The woman, oblivious to his internal monologue, continues with a bright smile, "All right, now, you understood everything, right? Then, sign the contract." A determined grin forms on Ki Man-song's face, the thought echoing in his mind, "Finally, I get to be a real actor." He reaches for the pen, ready to seal his fate. The woman watches him, a knowing smile playing on her lips, as she muses, "The contract in front of you is something you should be able to understand at your level." Because of that, many officials are now confounded with each other. Her voice, smooth as silk, cuts through the tension, demanding to know if he really gets it. He's caught off guard, his mind racing, trying to piece together her cryptic words. But her face gives nothing away, a faint, knowing smile playing on her lips. His eyes dart to the contract, a moment of doubt flashing across his face. Her hand, cool and precise, points to the paper, a silent promise that all his worries are about to vanish. But Ki Man-song isn't backing down, he's betting everything on his own raw talent, even if the rules are still a blur. A sly grin spreads across her face as she offers the pen, sealing the deal with a chilling promise, "You're mine now. Let's make magic happen." A surge of adrenaline hits him, and he roars, "Yes. I'll give it my all." His fate now irrevocably linked. The pen hits the paper, the contract is signed, but a chilling, inexplicable sensation suddenly grips him. He's still signing, pen flying across the contract, but that weird feeling from before. It's getting stronger, like a bad premonition. Suddenly, his eyes snap open, a jolt of pure shock hitting him as he realizes something huge. But Gu Ju-yun just smirks, totally unfazed, dropping a bombshell reminder that he's clearly missed the biggest detail in the whole deal. He's still signing, but his brain is on overdrive, trying to figure out what she means, and then the number hits him, 5 million? Gu Ju-yun's lips barely move as she spells it out, and the number is so insane, he literally claps a hand over his mouth, totally speechless. She leans in, radiating pure confidence, telling him their company is no joke, especially when they're dropping that kind of cash for a single, rare gemstone. He's just staring at the contract, his brain short-circuiting, because the numbers are screaming 110 million in his head. He looks down at the paper again, the insane amount of money just completely blowing his mind. His eyes are practically popping out of his head, reflecting the absolute, mind-bending shock of what he just put his name to. His mind was blown, the contract's insane value still reverberating through his very being. Walking out of that building with the agent who just changed his life, he was literally carrying his new future. The agent was talking, but he was just staring, disbelief turning into pure wonder, the city lights practically dancing in his eyes. He walked away from that building, the weight of his new fortune hitting him hard. And then, a real smile just exploded onto his face, the whole city practically cheering him on for his epic new future. Later, the agent just had to know how he got so rich. But he just shot back, "Did you even see my text?" Then, a familiar voice hit him up, offering to buy drinks and hang out, and just like that, he was chilling at a bar with his mentor. Director Kong was absolutely glowing, hyping up Man Song's success and already dreaming of him on the big screen, even teasing him about future kiss scenes. Kong then playfully shut down someone off-screen, telling them to chill because Man Song just debuted and wasn't on that level yet. He's all in, raising his glass and hyping up the crowd, demanding everyone join the celebration. Director Kong, totally hyped, shouts out a toast to Man Song's epic success. Fast forward a few hours, the party's over, and Man Song is totally crashed out on a fancy couch, dead to the world. Suddenly, a noise rips him from his sleep, and he's instantly awake, blinking away the fog, wondering who the heck just showed up. His face goes from confused to full-on, eyes locked on something just off-screen. He scopes out the person standing there, and it hits him, he has no idea who this is. His brain starts racing, who is this guy, and why is he already half an hour late for whatever they had planned? The mystery person reaches out, handing over a business card that reveals their identity, Mr. Manager Sung Jin Ho. A new player enters the game. The business card of Moon Young-bae, manager at MI Entertainment, is laid out, signaling a major shift. Face to face with his new manager, he's all ears as Moon Young-bae drops the first bombshell. Moon Young-bae quickly explains his tardiness, claiming a sudden urgent matter kept him away, but is that the whole truth? Changing gears, Moon Young-bae reveals a crucial detail: he's heard big things about Ki Man-song, and none other than Chief Yoon personally requested him. Ki Man-song's mind races, the first job, but his manager quickly puts him at ease, telling him to relax and be comfortable. A quick okay from Ki Man-song, and then it's straight to business, time to talk work. The big reveal. Moon Young-bae drops the project title, Hunter of the Night, a movie Ki Man-song is set to star in. Ki Man-song's eyes practically pop out, as a document solidifies his new identity: Repairman, Mr. Ki Man-song, MS Entertainment. His jaw drops, a look of pure shock on his face, as he stammers out the ultimate question: what exactly is this role? His manager drops the bombshell, revealing that his character meets a brutal end, dying from multiple stab wounds. What? His eyes widen in utter disbelief as the full, horrifying truth sinks in: he's playing a victim, repeatedly stabbed by a serial killer. Director Kang, with an intense gaze, lays out the details of the next big role to Ki Man-song. With a dramatic sweep of his hand, he reveals the chilling truth: Ki Man-song's character is destined to die by the hand of a serial killer. Ki Man-song's eyes snap open, a chilling realization dawning as he whispers, a serial killer. Taking a moment to collect himself, he sips his drink, then confesses with a hint of doubt: honestly, I don't think I'm good enough to make it big in this industry. Director Kang's hands are calm, but Ki Man-song's grip on his cup betrays a subtle tension. A tiny, confident version of himself pops into his head, questioning, can I even pull this off, then immediately countering, relax. Just channel that energy from the last film. Director Kang's intense stare cuts through the doubt, declaring, it's not that you're not good enough, it's that you're too good for this kind of role. He elaborates, you're too talented to play a character who just gets taken out so easily. Ki Man-song hangs on every word, his eyes wide with a blend of shock and deep thought as Director Kang trails off, it's just that. His words paint a horrifying picture: a monstrous, undead face with glowing, malevolent eyes, the chilling embodiment of the serial killer's next victim. Dressed in ancient garb, he's overwhelmed by self-doubt, convinced he lacks the experience for this monumental role. Snap back to reality. His manager, Moon Young-bae, pushes him to reenact the scene. His thoughts are still trapped in the role, haunted by the question: was he the one who died as Caesar? A quiet gasp escapes him, the scene's power still resonating, proving it was anything but insignificant. Then, a sudden jolt. Does he have to take this role? Is there even a choice? Moon Young-bae, cool as ever, tells him he's free to refuse, if he wants. Ki Man-song's eyes widen, hope sparking, really? I can. A sly grin spreads across his manager's face as he drops the bomb: refusing would totally violate their contract. Oh, my. Moon Young-bae chuckles, revealing the ultimate trap: Ki Man-song never even read the fine print. The actor is absolutely floored. His manager just shrugs, explaining it's just standard procedure for rookie contracts. He's all ears as manager Moon Young-bae drops a bombshell: that newbie contract he signed. It's got a clause. And this clause? It's brutal. He's not just accepting the contract, he's immediately locked into the role. The truth hits him like a truck. While the manager coolly highlights the fine print, the company pays a penalty if they back out, but if he does, he's on the hook for 100 times that. The sheer magnitude of this trap hits him hard. Leaving him with the brutal truth, the decision is now squarely on his shoulders. His foot starts tapping a frantic rhythm, a clear sign of his escalating panic. He flashes back to a brighter moment, laughing with Director Kang and Gu Ju-yeon, a painful reminder of simpler times. Now, sprawled in bed, the contract and the role crush him, leaving him utterly consumed by worry. Damn it, he explodes, the frustration practically radiating off him in the sterile, modern room. The contract's brutal penalty clauses, millions of won, flash before his eyes, a cold, hard truth he can't escape. He flashes back to Gu Ju-yeon's heartfelt pledge, Director Kang's unwavering belief, and his own quiet, hopeful agreement, a stark contrast to his current despair. A sharp, desperate gasp tears from his throat, a bead of sweat dripping down his face, the pressure is crushing him. Slumped on his bed, he fixates on manager Sung Jin-ho's business card, the crushing silence amplifying his inner chaos. With a heavy, resigned sigh, he punches in the numbers, each tap a reluctant step into the unknown. Oh, yeah. I'm here, he forces out, his voice raw with tension, confirming his presence. The colossal VD building dominates the skyline, its sleek facade a beacon of his uncertain future. He pushes through the throngs, the crowd a blur as his mind races, so many people. I just hope this is where I'm supposed to be. He's on the move, footsteps light, eyes locked on his phone for the next destination. A white-knuckle grip on his phone, he can't help but think, well, at least I'm not actually dying. Destination reached, he's already reaching for the door, ready to face whatever's next. A soft click, and the door swings open. He steps in, only to find someone already there, back turned, leaving him utterly bewildered. What? But then his eyes lock onto a screen, flashing a name, On Jong-woo. The chilling details. Hunter of the night, psychopath serial killer, and an SSS rank. The screen keeps scrolling, revealing the bombshell. This, On Jong-woo, is the main actor, whispered to be one of the best, even as a kid. His eyes snap wide, the weight of this revelation hitting him hard. His hand clenches, the full impact of this bombshell settling deep within him. On Jong-woo, covered in fresh blood, locks eyes with an intense, burning red gaze. A chilling calm radiating from him despite the chaos. But his voice cuts through the tension, a chilling declaration, I'm not a monster. I'm just a human. A frantic heartbeat pounds, a chilling rhythm against Ki Man-song's blood-splattered face. His eyes wide with consuming terror, as the thumping continues. Meanwhile, On Jong-woo stands in quiet contemplation, his gaze sharp and focused on something unseen. A soft sigh escaping his lips as his eyes begin to glow with an intense, ethereal blue light. He then turns to address Sung Jin-ho, who listens intently as On Jong-woo speaks with a calm, measured tone, his words carrying a weight that demands attention. A thoughtful hum escapes On Jong-woo as he processes the situation. Before a metallic clink sounds, followed by a determined declaration of the fire, as he stands ready for whatever comes next. On Jong-woo, deep in thought, can't shake the lingering question from his mind. But the drama doesn't stop there. We cut to a new scene, the exclusive script reading room. The room is buzzing with activity, a high-stakes meeting already in full swing, with imagination projected for all to see. The scripts are out, with production clearly marked, signaling serious business. Then, a new presence makes itself known, footsteps echoing with an air of importance. Gu Ju-yeon and Sung Jin-ho react instantly, one acknowledging his presence, the other hyped to finally see him live. Ju-yeon gives a casual greeting, but Jin-ho is stunned, exclaiming, Jong-woo. The actor, as the realization hits him. This guy. He's not just a pretty face, he's a master of his craft, nailing every role he takes, making him a true titan of Chung-moo-ro's acting scene. He's got the looks, the physique, and the raw talent, making him the undisputed, next-generation star everyone's talking about. He's here. The manager exclaims, and Gu Ju-yeon can barely believe it's On Jong-woo. His manager hypes him up, saying he's the kind of guy whose life is a blockbuster, the legendary Hunter of the Night, and now, it's script time. He's a rare talent, a genius who devours scripts in one go, the manager gushes, admitting he got chills just watching him. Gu Ju-yeon, totally captivated, finally gets why they call him Hunter of the Night. On Jong-woo, deep in the script, calls out to the legendary Ki Man-song, and his manager quickly confirms the star's identity. He takes a beat, a soft escaping his lips, and his manager urges him on. Ki Man-song's career is insane, a legend who doesn't just act, he becomes the character, a total genius who can master a script in one go. On Jong-woo quickly apologizes for his etiquette, but his manager waves it off, telling him to chill and stay put. Out of nowhere, a guy named Kim Chan-woo pops up, offering coffee, and On Jong-woo quickly tries to explain to Ki Man-song that it's not what it looks like. Ki Man-song is already deep in character, his mind a whirlwind of dramatic possibilities, even before the cameras roll. He's already questioning, how will he even pull off this next-level performance? Those eyes, man, they're burning with pure, unadulterated acting intensity. Cut to the script reading, and he's running late. But hey, it's for a good reason, he was just deep diving into the script with the director. At the table, with the director and his manager by his side, Ki Man-song cuts straight to the chase, no time for intros, they're diving right into the script. He then commands the room, telling everyone to grab a seat and introducing himself as Ki Man-song, the main man, like they don't already know. Then, with zero chill, he drops a bombshell, he's terrible with names, so everyone's just getting called by their character. Talk about a power move. And then, he zeroes in on Jong-woo, straight up asking if he's the psychopath serial killer, and Jong-woo's face just goes blank. But inside, On Jong-woo is absolutely losing it, his eyes flaring blood red as he screams, "Shut up, you little. I'll kill you for real. This is not going to end well." The air crackles with unspoken words, but Director Khan, ever the professional, tries to defuse the bomb, asking On Jong-woo if he's better after the earlier drama. With a decisive clap, he cuts through the awkwardness, signaling the start of the reading. A collective breath is held, the tension thick enough to cut with a knife as everyone waits. On Jong-woo's face is a mask, his eyes betraying nothing. But Ki Man-song. He's practically glowing, reveling in the chaos he's sown, a smug grin spreading across his face. Meanwhile, Gu Ju-yeon is practically squirming, her anxiety radiating as she tries to avoid eye contact. Then, On Jong-woo's eyes lock onto something unseen, his face hardening with an intense focus. Director Kang's gaze is piercing, waiting for the other shoe to drop. And then, An Jong-woo breaks the silence, his voice chillingly composed as he agrees, but a flicker in his eyes betrays the storm brewing beneath. He's in the passenger seat, manager beside him, as the car peels out from the building. His manager cuts the tension, asking, "You good?" He pushes, "Let's just bail for today." Back at the reading, Director Kang tries to play peacemaker with Ki Man-sung, but that earlier clash is still burning in on Jong-woo's head, his gaze chillingly composed. He just thinks, damn. Sung Jin-ho, picking up on the vibe, tries to crack a joke, "Oh. Haha. You must be seriously fuming right now." He tries to calm him, "Don't sweat it too much. Just chill a bit." An Jong-woo manages a soft, "Th. Thanks." But behind that calm facade, his eyes blaze with a hidden truth, revealing him as the hunter of the night. Sung Jin-ho and Gu Ju-yeon are just chilling, reading, when he drops the news, "The director called me, and he's gonna be here soon." Then, a subtle sound, and An Jong-woo pops into a doorway, looking totally caught off guard. Sung Jin-ho doubles down, "Yeah, the director called, he's coming," and An Jong-woo's just like, "Huh." Sung Jin-ho pushes for more info, asking, "What?" but An Jong-woo just shrugs, "I'm not sure." The scene shifts to a buzzing night shoot, and Director Kang's voice booms across the set, shouting, "Ready, action." An Jong-woo, fully in character as the killer, lands a brutal kick on his female victim, sending her flying. He looms over her, and just like that, Director Kang yells, "Cut." The director claps, giving props to the crew for their awesome work and showing his appreciation, with claps echoing all around. But then he drops a bombshell, another scene, new location. And that gets a questioning look from Ki Man-sung. Ki Man-sung, clearly exhausted, pushes back, asking if they really need another take, citing the distant crime scene and begging for a rethink. The director presses him on his hesitation, but Ki Man-sung just shrugs it off, saying he's tired. Then, the director's face changes, a cold realization hitting him as he mumbles about what Ki Man-sung's words truly mean, a shocking insight flashing in his eyes. Out of nowhere, a knife gleams, burying itself in Ki Man-sung's back as An Jong-woo, dropping the act, launches a savage attack. It's a non-stop barrage. Ki Man-sung fights back against repeated stabs to his chest, stomach, face, and neck, but he can't escape the deadly assault. The horror intensifies. An Jong-woo, knife still dripping, has delivered 13 brutal stabs. This isn't acting anymore. Cut to the set. The masked killer actor gets his cue, and the guy playing Ki Man-sung gives a nervous, "Yeah." Is this a flashback, or a reshoot? With eyes blazing, the actor is locked in. "Yes," he declares, ready for the next chilling take as the director shouts, "Now. Ready." But wait, what's Kim Ki-jun doing? An angry voice snaps at him for being distracted, and he can only stutter out a frantic, "I'm sorry." The actor playing Ki Man-sung is seriously creeped out, feeling the scene's intensity and struggling to separate himself from the role, right before the director screams, "Ready. Action." Whoosh. The world blurs, a rapid transition through the sky. Cityscapes flash past in a dizzying montage. Then, a.m. An Jong-woo is on the move, tearing through the darkness, his senses screaming about something closing in fast, an attack imminent. His handsome face, now a mask of fierce resolve, glows with an eerie, red-eyed intensity. A relentless ticking sound pierces the oppressive darkness as An Jong-woo suddenly finds himself in an unknown, metallic labyrinth, utterly bewildered. He lets out a sharp, choked gasp, his lungs burning as confusion hits him like a truck. The ticking won't stop, and he's running, but why? His body is moving on its own. His eyes dart across the grimy, industrial wasteland, that ticking sound drilling into his skull. Then, bam. A brutal image explodes in his head, a shocking crimson splash against a stark, pale background. His eyes blaze with an intense, blood-red glow, mirroring the raw, violent memory that just hit him. The ticking just keeps going, a relentless beat to these disturbing new visions. He grabs his head, a desperate cry tearing from his throat, as a torrent of alien memories threatens to overwhelm him. Then, a terrifying thought hits him, these aren't real memories. They're just lines from a script. He finally gets it, the truth slamming into him, yeah, that's right. These are this character's memories. His eye flares with an intense, otherworldly purple, the sheer force of the visions overwhelming him. But just as the intensity peaks, the scene abruptly cuts, leaving everything hanging. A voice from the script confirms it, a truth hitting him hard, right in the eyes. These aren't just words, they're raw memories, exploding in his vision. The past unspools, like a twisted film reel. Then, a strange, glowing object appears, pulling him in with its eerie light. Ki Man-sung is totally lost, questioning everything he thought he knew, completely unable to process this madness. Suddenly, he's in a dark alley, and that glowing thing is right there on the ground, making him gasp in total shock. But then, An Jong-woo is there, his voice dripping with venom, furious about their meeting and demanding answers for Ki Man-song's earlier reaction. An Jong-woo clutches the glowing object, and Ki Man-song can only gape at another identical one on the ground, completely blown away by the impossible duplicate. Still reeling from the revelation, his face bathed in an eerie blue glow, he's fixated on the ground. Then, a gloved hand, a mysterious glowing band on its wrist, plunges into his view. Before he can even flinch, a deadly knife flashes, brandished with chilling intent, and he's hit with pure shock. A jarring memory rips through him, a hooded version of himself demanding, "What do you want from me? Is it the script you're after?" The vision continues, a dismissive voice scoffing, "Another script, huh? What's the point?" Snap back to reality. An Jong-woo's eyes blaze crimson as he towers over him, snarling, "You won't give it up? Fine, I'll just take it. You're not escaping this time." A sickening impact. Blood explodes across the darkness. An Jong-woo's chilling voice cuts through the air, "No, no, no," as a blood-soaked knife drips menacingly, crushing any hope of resistance. The brutal sounds of a desperate struggle echo. Ki Man-song takes a brutal hit, his hand flying to his mouth in shock as a choked sound escapes him. But before he can even react, An Jong-woo's hand, with that eerie glowing wristband, lunges forward for another strike. Then, a sickening crunch. Ki Man-song's eye snaps wide, bloodshot and screaming in pain. Blood immediately begins to trickle from his mouth. But An Jong-woo doesn't even flinch, his face a mask of cold resolve, now splattered with his victim's blood. Then, a final, brutal blow. Blood explodes across Ki Man-song's hand with a sickening quahuk. But just as it seems over, a terrifying, crimson glow erupts from Ki Man-song's eyes. A desperate power awakening. Sensing the sudden shift, An Jong-woo bolts. His footsteps tata-tata-ng into the night. Left alone and bleeding out, Ki Man-song's hand weakly reaches out, then his body finally gives up, collapsing to the floor. A chilling thought rips through Ki Man-song's mind, demanding if he just witnessed a murder, the horrific scene flashing like a film reel. His vision snaps, a single eye burning with the horrific images. A guttural gasp tears from him, his body convulsing with raw, unseen agony. A faint, ominous purple glow erupts from him, as he fights to grasp the horrifying reality, another choked cry tearing through the silence. His face twists into a mask of pure, unadulterated anguish, the purple energy surging around him as he unleashes a desperate, primal scream. Blinded by the searing light and his own internal torment, he chokes and gasps, utterly ensnared in his personal hell. His hands shake violently, the very ground beneath him fracturing from the sheer force of his awakening power. He stumbles away from the shattered earth, drawn towards an overwhelming, blinding light. His face fills the frame, eyes blazing a furious, blood-red, a silent, agonizing scream ripping from his throat as the nightmare scene refuses to end. He gasps, a raw, guttural sound tearing from his throat as the nightmare vision refuses to release its grip. His breath hitches, a desperate struggle for air, the terrifying images refusing to fade. The dread intensifies, a crushing weight, his eyes blown wide with terror and utter bewilderment. The entire reality around him warps and shifts, leaving him only able to gasp, "What?" The crushing darkness shatters into a blinding, ethereal light, revealing the ghostly outlines of a city. He stares, utterly disoriented, at the alien surroundings, a desperate question escaping him, is this place? The vision solidifies, the glowing city dissolving into a mundane, yet still unsettling, street scene. A bizarre, unsettling feeling washes over him as he tries to process the details, muttering. Trapped in a mind-bending vision, he's totally disoriented, asking himself, where even am I? Dae-jeon. Yu Song-gu. His mind racing, trying to piece together the fragmented memories of what's even happening. He's completely bewildered, demanding to know what the heck is going on right now. Then, out of nowhere, a phone materializes in his grip, showing a subway map and a cryptic message about having time to kill. Triggering a baffled, "Excuse me," as he grapples with the strange device, which then prompts him to identify it. His eyes lock onto the screen, utterly dumbfounded by the words, "Motorola Studio," blazing back at him. The screen glitches, then snaps to a date, August 6, 2010, and a chilling name, An Jong-woo. A sudden, shocking realization slams into him, leaving him absolutely stunned. As the ominous title, Hunter of the Night, flashes across the screen, confirming his worst fears. He remembers watching a movie about that serial killer, but the film came out in 2015. This vision is throwing him into a mind-bending time warp. The vision hits him with another bombshell. A chilling narration box screams, "Serial killer case in 1995. It's still considered a hanging case." He's staring at some shadowy figure, his mind racing, trying to piece together this insane puzzle. What in the world is going on? His face twists in pure agony, clutching his head as the timeline just keeps getting more messed up. He can only think, is he actually stuck in that time period now? The suspense is killing him. He's just walking, but his mind is racing, and one word keeps hitting him, again. His feet drag on the soaking wet ground, ignoring all the normal stuff around him. But a weird feeling starts to creep in, and then another thought hits, something's off. Then, a.m. A clear image pops into his head, a smiling face, and he's like, who is this? His face totally twists up, confused but also like he knows them, muttering, oh, my family, maybe. In this. His eyes snap open, and it all clicks, he finally gets it, these are someone else's memories. He stares up at this crazy bright light, his mind just a whirlwind of broken thoughts. He's just, standing there, utterly lost, a confused sound barely escaping his lips. Where even is this place, he thinks, his mind racing, is this all just a dream? The cold, hard wall in front of him gives absolutely no clues. But then, a blinding, otherworldly light starts to pulse, drawing his gaze upwards. He glances down, and whoa, his own feet are starting to glow with that same weird energy. The glow around him just keeps getting brighter, a soft, crackling sound filling the air. A stunned, ha! Escapes him as the power surges. Pulled by an unseen force, he reaches out, his hands stretching towards the blinding light as his feet practically explode with energy. Oh, what a strange feeling, he murmurs, stepping right into the heart of the light, completely consumed by its otherworldly glow. Blinded by the light, a soft voice pierced the void, pulling him into a scene of unexpected domesticity. But before he could process the woman's words, a child's shriek ripped through the air, a single, powerful word that hit him like a truck. A tiny blur of energy launched itself forward, their excited patter closing in fast. The woman, noticing his dazed expression, offered a gentle suggestion, her eyes filled with a worry he couldn't quite place. But the kid wasn't having it, pulling at his clothes, ready for an impromptu performance and completely unaware of the storm brewing inside him. His head spun, the pieces of this perfect life refusing to click into place, a chilling realization creeping into his very soul. Her voice, now laced with genuine worry, cut through his mental fog, demanding to know if he was okay. He could only stammer out a bewildered sound, his mind a chaotic mess of conflicting realities. Then, in a flash, the entire illusion imploded, replaced by the terrifying screech of tires on asphalt, and the brutal, bone-jarring impact of a catastrophic car crash. He's reeling, the traumatic vision still burning in his mind, and he can't help but think, this is nothing like the movie I was in. How can I be both an actor and a serial killer? Alone on a swing, he forces himself to think, to really grasp it, because this isn't just some movie, this film is based on the real incident of he understands. The Daejeon Province serial killer case. But what's actually happening is way more messed up. The terrifying truth hits him, he's not just some actor, he's one of the actual victims of the case. Stunned by this bombshell, he's left with only one question, what should I do now? The city lights up as dawn breaks. And with a heavy heart, he heads to Korea Electronics, his workplace. Key Man Song stares at the Korea Electronics building, his mind a whirlwind. What's his next move now that he's got these wild, impossible memories? Still reeling from the revelation, he navigates the bustling city, the weight of his bizarre reality pressing down hard. He steps into the office, a place he's only ever seen in photos, and slides into his new desk, the whole scene feeling totally surreal. Eyes glued to the screen, a wild idea hits him, he's not just some nobody anymore. He can't help but wonder if this is how the world operated before the internet changed everything. He's diving deep, determined to comb through every single piece of data, hunting for the truth. The total silence from the news about the case he vividly remembers just screams that something is seriously wrong. His fingers fly across the keyboard, and a chilling realization hits him, the data he's uncovering shouldn't even be real, according to his own memories. A fierce determination ignites in his eyes, he's made up his mind, he's going straight to the source, the actual scene of the crime. Under the glow of the city at night, his fateful decision hangs in the air, setting the stage for what's next. He stalks through the shadowy streets, a chill creeping up his spine as he hunts for the exact spot, convinced it's gotta be right around here. The oppressive darkness messes with his head, forcing him to halt, a chilling thought flashing through his mind, hold on, if I bite it here, this could actually be the end. His foot scrapes, his hand reaching into the black, the brutal truth slamming into him. A chilling silhouette against the stark yellow tape, he finally hits the boundary. He's trapped within the crisscrossing lines, the scene before him a bone-chilling tableau. His hand tightens, a single, guttural word tearing from him, ghastly. He scans the ground, then snaps his head up, his face a mask of resolve. A spark of pure grit ignites in his eye. His face locked in a grim resolve to rip open the truth. Key Man Song's eyes snap open, a jolt of disorientation hitting him. His gaze sweeps the area, a desperate search for answers etched on his face. Then, the chilling sight of An Jong-woo, blood still marring his features, locks his attention, an unspoken challenge hanging heavy in the air. A single, desperate question screams in his mind, asterisk, did he not recognize me? Asterisk. But the other man simply turns his back, his hooded silhouette vanishing into the oppressive gloom. A raw expletive escapes his lips, disbelief warring with dread, no way. In a blink, the world shatters and reforms, the grimy street replaced by the unforgiving ropes of a boxing ring, where they stand poised for battle, Key Man Song's desperate plea to just wait a second brutally cut short by An Jong-woo's chilling vow, I'll kill you. Terror flares in Key Man Song's eye as a wicked glint of steel flashes, a knife gripped tight in the other man's hand. He barely manages to form the thought, am I really? Before the blade strikes, a visceral, tearing sound echoing the finality of the blow. He's getting absolutely pummeled, the hits just keep coming, and he's screaming for it to stop. His eyes are burning red, and the attacker just keeps going, completely ignoring the desperate cries. The red-eyed psycho just stares down, while the victim desperately begs for help, for the real person to come back. Heavy, ragged breaths cut through the silence, the sound bouncing off something unseen. Suddenly, the whole scene changes, to a dark, wet street under a single, lonely street lamp. And then, a loud, booming voice screams, cut, ending the whole thing. A blinding flash of light hits, and everything changes. A group of people stand there in silhouette, their shapes blurry against a warm, glowing haze. An Jong-woo stares down at Gu Ju-yun, who's on the floor, asking if she saw him, and she just whispers back, no, I didn't. Key Man Song's eyes drop, a crushing weight of unease settling over him. Before he just drops to the floor with a soft thud, his mind absolutely reeling from what just happened. Sweat pours down his face as he gasps for air, that film just won't let him go. It was too real, man, too real. Even now, sitting here, he can still feel that knife going in. His hand reaches out, like he's trying to grab onto something that's just not there, and he's just drowning in regret, wishing he never signed up for this film. He clutches his head, those words, the psychopath serial killer, just screaming in his mind, a chilling echo of the monster from his nightmare film. His eyes snap open, a terrifying new thought hitting him, what if that killer from the film was real too? His name rings out, the director demanding just one more take. On set, locked in with the director and crew, he's absorbing every word. The director, sharp eye behind his glasses, takes a beat, weighing his next words carefully. Then comes the verdict, you're acting solid, but the vibe? It's just, boring. Key Man Song pushes back, boring. The director doubles down, I need more realism. His eyes widen, completely caught off guard by the blunt criticism. He finally concedes, yeah, boring. A simple, okay, is all he can manage. Leaving the set behind, he walks, the director's words echoing in his mind. He fades into the distance, a lone figure heading for the city lights. Key Man Song glares at his reflection, a shocking news article on his phone screen screaming a new development. He can't help but think, he must have become a suspect. Could it have been because of the suspect? A sharp, audible gasp escapes him, his face contorting in a mix of pure shock and a terrifying realization. Still locked onto his reflection, the full, chilling weight of the news crashes down on him. A chilling, haunting question screams in his head, you know me, right? A hard, nervous gulp catches in his throat, betraying his inner turmoil. Then, with a sudden, steely resolve, he declares, let's check. A chilling voice slices through the darkness, a taunting question hanging heavy in the air. As the shadowy figure, collar high, looms menacingly. Key Man Song is utterly paralyzed, a desperate curse tearing from his throat as he lies helpless on the unforgiving ground. His mind is a whirlwind of terror, unable to process the nightmare unfolding, his body locked in an inescapable prison. The antagonist's form flickers with a sinister red glow, his internal monologue a twisted dance of cruel possibilities. Then, a single, malevolent red eye flares in the gloom, his voice dripping with sadistic politeness as he speaks to his captive. Key Man Song is completely at his mercy, bound and broken, every ounce of resistance stripped away. A hand descends, a dark promise, as the protagonist can only gaze up, pure terror etched across his face. He stares up into the downpour, the cold drops mirroring the dread that washes over him. The world around him plunges into an oppressive darkness. His features twisting in a silent scream, a primal terror seizing his very soul. A guttural cry tears from his throat, echoing the torment that consumes him. The cruel, mocking laughter of his tormentor rings out, bouncing off the surrounding buildings. With blood streaking his cheek and tears welling in his eyes, Key Man Song can only beg for it to end. Then, a sharp, decisive command slices through the air. The oppressive darkness gives way to a blinding, artificial light. Revealing from above several figures lying motionless on the cold, hard ground, while An Jong-woo stands observing the aftermath. He's down, motionless on the ground, and then the verdict drops, Key Man Song. You passed. But then, a harsh scoff cuts through the air, and a brutal critique hits, ha. Not even an attempt. Meanwhile, two figures, an older guy with glasses and his towering assistant, are just watching, totally unfazed. The older man spins around, calling out to Key Man Song, saying his acting is fine, but you can tell he means, not good enough. Key Man Song just gives a weak, almost confused, oh, yes. The director lays down the law, telling him to ditch the dying act and go full psychopath serial killer instead, and Key Man Song is left to process that bombshell. He pushes harder, telling him to channel the raw desperation of a man desperate to get back to his family, cranking up the villain's evil to 11. A flicker of resolve ignites in his eyes as Key Man Song states, I'll try one more time. He fires back at the unseen entity, acknowledging its sheer audacity. But the voice cuts him off cold, dropping a chilling promise, this time, for sure. He's caught off guard, demanding a pause, his mind racing. His eyes narrow, challenging the cryptic threat, what do you mean this time? Then, a shocking truth hits him, and he blurts out, how do you know? His face contorts in disbelief as the voice pushes further, did you witness the other ones? He presses for answers, trying to grasp the impossible situation, before making a snap decision, for now. With that thought, he declares, let's try to buy some time, and bolts, a desperate dash for survival. He's a blur in the night, tearing through the darkness, leaving the terrifying confrontation in his wake. He's bolting through the shadows, a single, frantic thought screaming in his head, what now? A raw, guttural fuck rips from him, his eyes darting back, the unseen terror still hot on his heels. He's still tearing through the night, but the same question hammers at him, his lungs burning with every desperate gasp. This isn't some act, some twisted script he's supposed to follow, this is terrifyingly real. But then, a horrifying truth slams into him, a gut-wrenching, of course, ripping from his throat. His eyes blow wide with pure terror, his body seizing up as if hit by an unseen, brutal blow. A silent, agonizing scream twists his features, his eyes locked onto an unseen horror. Then, without warning, his legs just give out, sending him crashing violently to the unforgiving ground. His wide, terrified eyes still reflecting the oppressive darkness, he hits the ground, utterly defeated. As his world collapses around him, a horrifying, distorted face screams in silent terror, its eyes wide and pupils dilated in a blue-tinged nightmare, a chilling, waak echoing in the void. This terrifying visage, he realizes, is intrinsically linked to the infamous Daejeon serial murder case, a chilling connection that sends shivers down his spine. And then, a figure emerges from the light, walking away into the encroaching darkness, the culprit of that very case, a shadowy silhouette of pure evil. Through a blurry, red-tinted haze, the culprit figure reaches out, a silent, menacing gesture that promises doom. Suddenly, the vision shatters, replaced by a stark command, cut. An abrupt end to the nightmare. Absolutely drained, Key Man Song collapses, the director's booming voice declaring, you crushed it. The definitive cut rings out, bringing the intense scene to a close. But his true struggle is just kicking off, his mind already spiraling into a dark place, now, finally. A hand reaches out, a subtle, almost ghost-like motion towards a door. Later, in the dead of night, the actor's eyes snap open, the chilling words the Daejeon serial murder case echoing in his mind. Horrific images flood his thoughts, a wide, terrified eye, a blood-soaked hand gripping a knife. The happy end he once chased now a twisted, cruel joke. Slumped on the floor, he fixates on his phone, a desperate, lingering hope forming, if it was still there. His eyes are locked onto the screen, the chilling title, Daejeon serial murder case scene, burning into his vision once more. The journey pressed on, a silent storm brewing within him. The bus hurtling him from Seoul straight into Daejeon. He let out a heavy sigh, gazing out the window, a single question burning in his mind, what am I even doing here? Cityscapes flew by in a blur. Every street a countdown to his destination. Finally hitting the pavement, he strode with purpose, his footsteps a rhythmic beat as he noted, this neighborhood, it's still the same, isn't it? A subtle rustle made him snap his head around, a chilling memory surfacing, around here, it was. His eyes darted down, a chilling, shadowy reflection flashing across them. Before he snapped his head up, a shockwave of disbelief hitting him. It's still here. Key Man Song steps up to a police officer, who immediately eyes him with suspicion, demanding to know if he's a reporter. The officer, clearly annoyed, doesn't hold back, grilling him about why he's even touching a case with only 6 months left on the clock. But Key Man Song isn't backing down, his eyes wide with determination, he just throws it back, why not go to the scene? The officer lets out a frustrated groan, clearly fed up with this guy's relentless push. But with a resigned sigh, he grabs his keys, and gives in. Moments later, a car tears through the urban landscape, blazing a trail to the scene. They pull up to a nondescript building, a police cruiser already waiting. The officer points the way, gesturing them inside. A gloved hand, precise and methodical, pulls a blood-stained knife from its sterile prison. Readying it for the cold scrutiny of forensic science. Every detail crucial, every movement deliberate. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to Ki Man Song, standing over the grim tableau of the crime scene, his gaze sweeping the room. His hand already moving, sketching out the chilling details on a digital tablet. The police officer stands shoulder to shoulder with him, both men locked onto the glowing data, a silent tension hanging between them. A flicker of disbelief crosses the officer's face, the question hanging in the air, he saw it in a dream? Ki Man Song's response is a calm, unwavering yes. The officer, trying to ground the conversation, pushes for concrete evidence, so, what came out of the blood test, demanding to know if it had been sent for inspection. Ki Man Song's gaze drifts, a weary sigh escaping him as he suggests the impossible, it might be the spirits of the dead who came to help with the case. There was nothing we could do. He trails off, a frustrated, now, seriously this. Escaping his lips. The Daejeon serial murder case. The name alone sent shivers, but now, a shocking revelation drops, the first suspect was none other than An Jong-woo. As the officer lays out the info, Ki Man Song's eyes lock onto the name, a single question hanging in the air. His eyes snap wide open, a shockwave of recognition or pure terror hitting him as he gasps, this face. The officer, totally caught off guard by the sudden change, leans in, a worried look on his face. Whoa, what's up? Ki Man Song's eyes are practically bugging out, a mix of disbelief and pure terror as the truth slams into him. This dude, right here, he was the first suspect in the case. An Jong-woo doesn't even flinch, but the officer is losing it, trying to shut down the chaos. What are you doing? You're gonna freak everyone out. Just like that, An Jong-woo is out the door, his steps hitting the pavement with a quiet rhythm. He breezes past other officers, a subtle rustle marking his exit. His face a mask as he keeps moving. The steady beat of his footsteps just disappears. After the bombshell revelation, An Jong-woo just walks away, a dismissive TSK his only response as he exits the scene. He keeps moving, a lone figure disappearing into the urban sprawl, leaving everything behind. The gap widens, the past fading with every step, his focus solely on what lies ahead. But elsewhere, a different mind grapples with the aftermath, questioning the very purpose of their journey here. Ki Man Song, deep in thought, muttering the words, let's just leave. Beside him, Kim Min-ji, a silent observer, feels the weight of his decision. Min-ji pleads with him, you can't just leave him. He's your only family, but he cuts her off, no. It's already too late. But he shouts back, no, vowing that, this time it will be different. Kim Min-ji, with a worried gaze, declares that justice demands punishment for all who have sinned. Ki Man Song replies, his eyes fixed on a distant point, believing this is the only way his father can finally rest. The sky stretches endlessly, a brief, silent pause, then the world changes. Under the cloak of night, outside a sleek apartment complex, An Jong-woo stands isolated on one side, while Ki Man Song, ever vigilant, observes him from the other, their destinies drawing them together once more in the shadows. Stirring from a deep sleep, a low grunt escapes him. But his phone, lying innocently on the bed, is about to shatter that peace. And he grabs it, eyes narrowing as a cryptic message pops up. A contact flashes, and he hesitantly answers, hello. Later, in a completely different setting, he's on another call, trying to sound professional, So. Oh. Yes. What seems to be the problem? Then, the bombshell drops, we need to confirm the identity of the one informant. His face twists in confusion, huh? Ki Man Song's face tightens, the weight of the situation crushing down as he grapples with their impossible predicament. His phone flashes a chilling message, screaming for the identity of their mysterious informant. Desperate for an escape from the crushing stress, he snatches the remote, demanding the TV come to life. The TV blazes on, but a far more terrifying presence has arrived, An Jong-woo, a silent, menacing shadow over him. An Jong-woo's voice slices through the tension, chillingly calm, a repeated, deadly promise to end him. Ki Man Song can only gasp in disbelief, a soft, ominous thump punctuating the killer's chilling declaration. Reeling from the bizarre turn, he stares at the TV, now showing a ridiculous news story about a tiger-like cat with a name tag. An Jong-woo coos over the cat's cuteness, while a breaking news alert screams across the screen, the Daejeon serial murder suspect has been caught. The news anchor confirms the massive breakthrough, as a police officer proudly announces the Sejong Police Department has finally nabbed the notorious serial killer. Breaking news flashes across the screen. The informant who took down the Hunter of the Night serial killer is outed as Mr. Kim from Movie Is Real production, leaving everyone wondering if this is all just a setup for a film. He's glued to his phone, the bombshell news report replaying in his head, Mr. Kim from Movie Is Real is the informant who caught the Hunter of the Night. The Movie Is Real title card pops up, with director Park Jong-woo's name front and center. He's still walking, still glued to his phone, the city blurring around him. Even on the subway, the rhythmic thumping of the train barely registering as he scrolls. His fingers fly across the glowing screen, searching for answers. Then, a new article hits. Director Eugene Sue's Hunter of the Night is a massive hit, selling out everywhere, but wait, it says the informant's identity is still unknown. He remembers the detective's promise, the informant's identity would be a secret. But the first news report named Mr. Kim from Movie is real as the informant. What is going on? The MS building, a beacon of modern architecture, dominates the skyline. Its reflective surface mirroring the city's pulse as two figures make their way to the entrance. An Jong-woo, with a knowing look, turns to his friend and asks, "Did anyone even recognize you out there?" Ki Man-song, looking genuinely surprised, responds, "Nah. Who'd even know me, right?" An Jong-woo grins, a playful glint in his eye, and declares, "Forget that. Everyone's buzzing about your acting. We've got 7 scenarios lined up already, you're way past being just a side character." Ki Man-song's face twists in immediate defiance, shouting he's out if his friend is in, but then, with a defeated groan, he gets it. Damn. Footsteps pound as they keep moving, a stern voice cutting through the air, reminding them the department's waiting, and they're running late. An Jong-woo then turns to Ki Man-song, driving the point home, "You're the main actor now. This is huge." Ki Man-song gazes into the distance, the implications sinking in, and wonders aloud, "So the celebrity world is a big deal, huh? But why me? There's gotta be a reason. This is too real." An intense gaze, a mind already working overtime, this is the scoop ghost, and she's about to drop some serious truth bombs. No detours, no middlemen, she demanded this meeting personally. A simple gesture, and the door swings open, signaling the start of something big. A subtle blue glow emanates from her as she takes her seat. She flashes a confident smile, immediately disarming Ki Man-song with a compliment, telling him he's even more captivating on camera. An Jong-woo, ever the strategist, hands Ki Man-song over, declaring that she's the one to handle the interview, because he's their guy. Without missing a beat, she confirms her readiness, a confident smirk playing on her lips. The interview kicks off, and she locks eyes with Ki Man-song, her smile still radiating confidence. He gives a brief answer, but her follow-up question hits like a bombshell, directly linking his celebrity to the Hunter of the Night and their heroic public image, revealing she knows more than he might expect. The scoop ghost, with that unsettling smirk, keeps pushing, declaring the Hunter of the Night a world-saving hero and the secret behind Ki Man-song's meteoric rise. But then, her face twists just a bit, and she drops a bombshell. "How did you know about the detective's dream?" She casually drops the intel that the detective saw the suspect's face in a dream. Panic flashes across Ki Man-song's face, as he's left speechless, wondering if any of this is real. The scene abruptly cuts to a cafe, the tension still thick in the air as they settle in. Flashing a sweet smile, she thanks him, but her eyes betray a hunger for more details. Both Ki Man-song and An Jong-woo stare, bewildered, their minds racing with questions about her true intentions. Then, with a shrug and a grin, she declares the real interview is starting, pivoting to a seemingly innocent question about his acting career. A subtle, knowing look crosses her face as she tells him not to be nervous, insisting she's just a massive fan. The interviewer's words cut deep, and suddenly, the scene shifts to a haunting close-up. Something about his acting, she thinks, is just next level, a thought that brings a single, poignant tear to his eye. The interview wraps up, but the tension is still palpable between them. The journalist is out, but her phone buzzes with a quick "thanks for everything," and a decisive "yes." With a confident grin, she declares, "I'll see you next time." Ki Man-song watches her walk away, a heavy silence falling as he sits there, deep in thought. She throws one last look over her shoulder, a knowing smirk playing on her lips, then she's gone. But the scoop ghost isn't done. On the phone, her voice crackles with intensity, demanding, "A hunch. Yeah, that murderer. Can I get a visit or interview with him?" Meanwhile, Ki Man-song is on the other end, listening as the voice on the phone presses him, "Yeah. Didn't you say you had a special scoop?" He pauses, a heavy sigh escaping him, "Yeah, well. He's getting the lowdown, big meeting with the department head, and they need to lock down his next big project. The elevator's on its way, floor 87 and dropping." Ki Man-song makes his way to the elevator. His footsteps click, click, click down the hall. Up ahead, the scoop ghost's heels are tapping out a beat. Then, it hits him like a truck. Woo! Sun's Ha-en, the name clicks, and he realizes she's from their company. They reach the elevator, and with a soft click, the doors slide open. He remembers the rumors, she was a huge actress before she became a reporter. And just like that, they're off, continuing their chat as they walk away. The scoop ghost, ever composed, subtly adjusts her glasses, a quiet sigh escaping her lips. Walking beside Ki Man-song, her professional briefcase swaying with a quiet rhythm. The iconic title, The Lady of the Seine River, echoes in his thoughts, a powerful ghost from her past. Their journey concludes, as the elevator doors glide open on the 10th floor. She steps out, surveying her surroundings, a contemplative look on her face. Confirming her schedule, she notes her slightly early arrival. Now in an office, she faces Ki Man-song, who hangs on her every word. He cuts to the chase, asking pointedly if she's familiar with a Mr. Ki Man-song. Her eyes narrow with recognition, and she states, he's the main actor. Over in the office chaos, Song Ha-na is totally in charge, telling everyone the interview with Mr. Kim will be super quick and to chill in the waiting room. Sweat drips as Ki Man-song is just blown away by her power, thinking, she's gotta be next level if even the big boss is bowing down. Just a bit later, Ki Man-song and Song Ha-na are strolling down a chill hallway, heading straight for the representative room door. She gives a quick knock, then swings the door open, waving him in. Inside, he asks if she got her way, and she just shrugs it off, saying it's all good. Once they're both seated, she coolly tells him to make himself at home. Then, an older guy pops up, super friendly, saying it's awesome to finally meet him in person, and he's totally stoked to hear how well Ki Man-song is doing. Ki Man, a total pro, lays out his strategy for private meetings, and Ki Man-song is all ears, just barely managing a yes. He keeps going, emphasizing how crucial their private chat is, his words practically screaming, big deals ahead. Then, with a smooth tack, a contract glides over the table, a clear sign that things are about to get real. Ki Man hypes up the situation, telling him tons of companies and directors are lining up to work with him, guaranteeing sweet roles and fat paychecks, so he shouldn't sweat it. A sharp hyumchit jolts Ki Man-song, the sheer volume of opportunities hitting him harder than expected. His brain goes into overdrive, flashing back to memories of murder, a choked hyuk escaping him as the past slams into him. His eye snaps open, bloodshot and intense, a pajik sound mirroring his inner chaos, and he barely whispers, anything, as if pleading. His mind jumps to a psychopath tracker and school mysteries, the terrifying words the demon was laughing echoing in his head. Seeing his intense reaction, Ki Man leans in, genuinely worried, asking what's up and guessing all these amazing offers are just too much for him to process. Ki Man-song lays out his next big move, declaring his intent to audition for a movie role. Eager to dive into completely different genres. An Jong-woo takes it all in, a low hum of contemplation escaping him. Then, he drops a new bombshell, asking what Ki Man-song thinks of this fresh opportunity, and the actor's face lights up, clearly intrigued. An Jong-woo reveals it's not a movie, but a drama series. And get this, the female lead is none other than Do Yun, his co-star from Ju Castle. Ki Man-song recognizes the name, and when challenged if he's up for it, he coolly states he needs to see the script first. The script itself teases the incredible journey of a genius artist, adopted into a French family. Ki Man-song's gaze intensifies, the phrase, the role of a genius artist, resonating deep within him. Ki Man-song is on a mission, drilling his actor with a French greeting, then quickly translating, well, how are you? He keeps pushing, laying out the drama's wild concept, and demands absolute focus on nailing that pronunciation. Then, Ki Man-song drops a bombshell from the script, shouting, in the script, it says, crush them back. An Jong-woo takes it all in, but his mind is already racing to the big day, just 1 month until the first scene, and he's ready to put on the performance of a lifetime, even if it's all a lie. Days fly by, the Drama Academy standing as a silent witness to the relentless march of time. Ki Man-song drops off the script, promising to be back next week, the grind never stops. The calendar pages flip, each day a countdown to destiny. Finally, in the solitude of his car, An Jong-woo glances at his phone, the calendar screaming, first shoot, on the 30th and 31st. Inside the car, An Jong-woo confesses to being a bit drained, and his manager immediately calls him out on looking totally wiped. His manager notes he's never seen him like this, sensing something's off, but An Jong-woo just shrugs it off as a lie to deny his exhaustion, right before his manager declares, we're here. The ride ends at an epic, old-school building, this is it, the drama set. As they step out, An Jong-woo's jaw drops, staring up at the massive structure, a simple, whoa, escaping his lips at the sheer grandeur. His manager challenges him, got your heart ready, reminding him they're about to film the opening scene. Ki Man-song flashes a confident grin, assuring him everything will be prepped by tomorrow. Strolling away, Ki Man-song tells An Jong-woo to chill, since today's just for set checks and a few run-throughs, promising to catch him later. He sends him off with a good luck, and An Jong-woo gives a quick, okay. Elsewhere, Scoop Ghost rants on the phone, Hunter of the Night sounded so French and romantic, but what's romantic about a psychopath serial killer? An Jong-woo is all ears as Ki Man-song drops the news, the sets move to a sick traditional Korean house, and they're just knocking out a few scenes for now. But then, his manager drops a bombshell warning, straight up threatening to kick An Jong-woo out if he doesn't level up his acting by the next reading. Elsewhere, Scoop Ghost is absolutely slaying, standing solo in a killer floral dress. Backstage, the assistant's just awkwardly laughing, but Ki Man Song is totally feeling himself, bragging about how pretty he is, leaving An Jong-woo in silent contemplation. Later, An Jong-woo gets hit with a surprise chill from his drink, and he's like, "Whoa, that's cold." He yells out again, totally caught off guard by the icy shock. A soft click rings out, as he's still gripping that freezing can. Then, Scoop Ghost slides up to him, hitting him with a formal "I'll be in your care" before straight up asking if he's mad. With a totally sheepish grin, she confesses she just wanted to see him, throwing in a quick, playful "sorry." Scoop Ghost is walking with An Jong-woo, teasing him about his coffee obsession. He just gives a cool "oh" back. She spills the tea, he's the brand's face, so he doesn't even need to drink it, but that cash. It's definitely flowing. Scoop Ghost, coffee in hand, just gives a little "huh," confirming she's totally ready for whatever's next. The city street is now a full-blown film set, and the director is yelling, "All right. Places, everyone. Seriously, they're on a super tight schedule, so everyone better move it." From a high angle, the director's voice booms, "Let's start shooting." Scoop Ghost looks totally pumped, declaring her readiness, as another woman checks in, asking if she's really prepared for this. Then, with a thunderous action, the camera dives, swooping down to capture the bustling city street. The view keeps plummeting. Then suddenly flips, showing the city from a wild, inverted perspective. Suddenly, the scene shifts dramatically to a stunning European cityscape, signaling a massive change of pace. But before he can fully process his temporal displacement, a cute little girl pops up, boldly asking him for a drawing. He's totally caught off guard, looking down at the persistent kid, while another adult watches the whole adorable scene unfold. Our hero, still reeling from the time travel shocker, can't believe he's speaking fluent French without even trying. Settling in to draw, with the little girl practically glued to his side, he ponders his next masterpiece, still amazed by his sudden French skills. But first, he makes sure she's got the green light from her mom, and gets the cutest "thank you" ever. Permission granted, and he's already laying down lines like a pro. And as his art comes to life, a mysterious, soft glow bursts forth, totally mesmerizing the little spectator. The drawing's ethereal glow wasn't just pretty, it was a full-blown reality-bending phenomenon, radiating outwards with an almost magnetic pull. And just like that, the finished portrait, a masterpiece of the young girl, dropped jaws. She couldn't hold back, shouting, "Whoa. Thank you, sir." Her mother, watching the whole thing unfold, couldn't help but crack a smile, dropping a casual, "You're good at drawing." A subtle, almost magical hum vibrated through the air. And with that lingering energy, the woman couldn't resist, asking with a hopeful glint in her eye, "Can you draw a picture of me too?" But hold up. The scene shifts dramatically to a whole new vibe, as a stunning woman with flowing dark hair struts down a sun-drenched street, her floral dress a blur of motion. Walking down the street, a young woman spots a familiar face and immediately asks for a ride to the station. Scoop Ghost is totally caught off guard by the sudden request, her face showing pure surprise. Getting a closer look, the woman realizes who it is and shouts, "OH. Aren't you an actress?" Scoop Ghost can only manage a soft, "What?" in return. Trying to shut down the conversation, Scoop Ghost quickly turns away, clearly not wanting to talk. She tries to brush her off with a polite, "Sorry, I'm busy," but the fan isn't giving up, begging, "Oh, come on. Just a little bit." With a quick, charming smile, Scoop Ghost confirms, "Yes," and keeps moving. The fan watches her walk away, a clear look of disappointment on her face, as Scoop Ghost disappears into the distance. Standing alone on the sidewalk, her hopes for a ride, or even just a chat, are totally crushed. Her piercing blue eyes lock onto something, a silent intensity building. Her focus shifting as a familiar voice cuts through the air, "Appa." Scoop Ghost pivots, a subtle shift in her demeanor, her thoughts unreadable. She spots Ki Man Song, completely absorbed in his craft, painting on a vibrant city street, a true artist in his element. He keeps painting, but then, a sharp, decisive command rings out, "Cut." The sprawling city hums around them, a dynamic stage for this moment. Scoop Ghost lets out a sharp intake of breath, then her eyes drop to the artwork, exclaiming, "WOAH. This drawing is good." Her brown-haired companion is equally stunned, gasping, "Amazing. Man, has he always been drawing?" Both women are absolutely mesmerized by the incredible artwork, their expressions a mix of awe and disbelief. Scoop Ghost is all ears as the brown-haired agent lays out a wild new acting gig for Ki Man Song, a drama about a psychopath serial killer and a high school girl. The agent, totally hyped on his last performance, throws out a twofold salary increase. But Ki Man Song is totally bugging out, asking if playing a doppelganger psychopath who kills for fun is even remotely fun, even when she tries to smooth it over with talk of body doubles for the gory parts. He shuts it down hard, "No way, no how." Scoop Ghost just takes it all in, a deep thought brewing, as the agent keeps pushing Key Man Song on the roll. The agent's eyes are practically glowing with pure determination, she's not giving up that easily. Then, with a dazzling smile, she turns to Scoop Ghost, dropping a casual compliment about her awesome acting too. Later, out on the city streets, the trio keeps the conversation going. The agent, phone in hand, is still buzzing, admitting Key Man Song's acting totally blew them away. She flat out calls him a genius actor, leaving him totally stunned. Key Man Song is clearly taken aback, but Scoop Ghost isn't done, launching into a vivid recollection of their very first encounter on a film set. With a dazzling smile, she casually drops the bomb that she'll see him in Paris next week, and playfully tells him to take care of her. He can only manage a stunned, "Oh, yeah. I'll see you then," as she gives a final wave and disappears, leaving him to process everything. His thoughts race, flashing back to a moment, real or imagined, where Scoop Ghost is hyping him up, claiming the French director was absolutely blown away by his acting, declaring him a true star. Fast forward, Key Man Song is now soaring through the sky on a plane, but his mind is miles away, still reeling from the agent's intense pitch for the role. Scoop Ghost's voice rings in his ears, her conviction unwavering as she pushes the psychopath serial killer role, calling it a once-in-a-lifetime chance, a role he was born to play. She presses on, challenging him, does he really want a normal life, or is he ready to embrace the role of a true hero? A wave of confusion and unease washes over Key Man Song's face, leaving him to question if this surreal conversation is actually his reality. The city lights blurred beneath the plane, a map spread out, a hand already charting the next move. Key Man Song, face pressed to the window, watched the world fly by, a silent storm brewing behind his eyes as the journey continued. Inside the plane, a cryptic card was clutched, its message a stark reminder of the intense role awaiting him. The card vanished into a book, a hidden piece of the puzzle now secured. Elsewhere, Scoop Ghost was locked onto a document, her gaze intensifying with every word. A sudden realization hit her, her eyes widening as the implications sank in. The news hit hard, forcing her to brace herself against the wall, visibly shaken. Her hands moved to fold the paper, a desperate attempt to contain the unsettling truth. Her eyes, wide with worry, stared blankly ahead, a hand instinctively rising to her face as the weight of the situation settled. The scene opens on a vibrant European cityscape, the Eiffel Tower piercing the sky, as our protagonist strides purposefully through the streets, suitcase in hand. Soon after, he's seen chatting intensely with another individual on the bustling street, then quickly transitions to an indoor meeting, the plot thickening. Inside a studio, he's checking out a mannequin, when An Jong-woo cuts in, demanding to know his availability. Because they need to film right away. An Jong-woo presses him about filming today, and after a brief Key Man Song agrees it's his scene day, and they're off, ready to roll. And just like that, with a booming action, he's off, disappearing into the Parisian backdrop, ready for his moment. But then, a sudden shift. Indoors, he's on the phone, a look of pure anguish on his face, declaring, "I'm sorry, but I can't do it." His mind is reeling, everything is a blur, nothing makes sense. And then, a chilling question from the other end, "Are you Korean?" He's lost, disoriented, unable to find his way or an address, while the voice on the phone points out the obvious, "You look very much like a Korean." Someone challenges the girl's identity, demanding to know if she's even Korean, despite her being a famous actress from a super-rich family. She's on the ground, and another voice just keeps pushing, straight up asking if she's Chinese or Japanese, with a sharp click cutting through the tension. The narrative unfolds, showing the actress navigating a busy street. And get this, the story says, she's gonna crash at his place for a whole month, with a hand gesturing right at her. An Jong-woo's red eyes are glued to the scene, a huge question mark on his face, and he lets out a shocked gasp as the story sinks in. The narrator keeps going, dropping the bombshell that the actress totally falls for him, her footsteps echoing as she walks. Then he gets all philosophical, asking if this kind of crazy romance could ever actually happen in the real world. An Jong-woo, still reeling, shouts in disbelief and demands to know the rest of the story. The view changes to a sweet house with a perfect garden, probably the exact spot where all this romance is supposed to go down. An opulent room hangs heavy with an unsettling quiet, punctuated only by a rhythmic, insistent tapping. Two women, one younger, one older, face each other in a charged standoff, the silence shattered by a nervous gulp. A smirk plays on the younger woman's lips as she challenges the older, demanding to know if she truly grasps the gravity of their predicament. With a stern gaze, the older woman asserts that her month-long absence was never meant to be a deliberate abandonment. Her voice tight with concern, she pleads for the younger woman not to resign, receiving only a curt, "all right," in return. A loaded silence hangs as the younger woman pointedly suggests the older must be well aware of her sound, her reputation, her impact. Moments later, the younger woman makes her exit from the opulent estate, the weight of their exchange still heavy in the air. A brief stop at a counter offers a fleeting moment of contemplation, the older woman's presence still a distant shadow. Beneath the city's nocturnal glow, the younger woman's solitary journey continues, the echoes of their tense discussion still reverberating through the silent streets. Under a dramatic night sky, a massive Gothic cathedral looms, its spires piercing the darkness. In this unfolding drama, a serious man in a sharp uniform stares intensely over a shimmering river, while the city's nocturnal pulse beats all around him. A young woman, her face etched with determination, questions if she truly has what it takes. Before settling at a piano, ready to conquer the challenge before her. The world keeps turning, with even a quiet park scene hinting at deeper stories. But then, a young man, his eyes filled with contemplation, delves into an ancient legend, a story whispered about a singular sound. And how, through its magic, a woman named Zhu Yun found her destiny in love. He then sharply asks his companion if the figure before them is the legendary orchestra conductor. A young woman stares down, a burning question in her soul, can she really play? With a slight turn of her head, she glances back, a flicker of doubt or wonder in her eyes. But then, her fingers fly across the keys, and a captivating melody bursts forth, filling the space with sound. Her eyes widen in sheer astonishment, as if the very notes she plays hold an unexpected power. Key Man Song observes her every move, a silent witness to the raw talent now pouring from her fingertips. Suddenly, a swarm of luminous, butterfly-like beings erupts and swirls above, mesmerized by the enchanting melody. Meanwhile, in a realm unknown, a voice echoes with existential dread, I am the Julian living in this world. A lone figure kneels, bathed in an ethereal glow, the profound question hanging in the air, and I am. His legs are seen beneath a piano, the thought abruptly cut off, am I really just Julian from some? Julian, locked in, fingers ready to unleash, eyes burning with focus as the crowd holds its breath. Then, he strikes. Hands flying across the keys, unleashing the first notes of a powerful melody. But wait, a sudden cut. He's now standing on a city street, bathed in stage lights, the performance seemingly over. Meanwhile, Gu Ju-yun, sporting a new star mark, observes with an intense, almost analytical gaze. Back to the action. His hands are a blur, absolutely lost in the rhythm of the piano. Every note perfect, every chord hitting just right. The music builds, pulling everyone deeper into its spell, Julian completely in his zone. Suddenly, a booming cut echoes, bringing the entire performance to a screeching halt. Julian breaks into a laugh, turning to Gu Ju-yun, who, even with a smile, looks totally stunned by what just happened. Her eyes widen, a jolt of surprise hitting her as sharp claps suddenly cut through the air. Her focus locks on, a clear spark of worry now burning in her intense gaze. But as his hands pause over the piano keys, a chilling question echoes in his thoughts, who am I? Key Man Song is trapped, alone in a creepy, fenced-off zone, and the only sound is this chilling, slow clap that makes him whip his head around, totally on edge. But back to the drama, Gu Ju-yun is totally freaking out, her face a mask of pure worry. Later, as darkness takes over, we cut to this massive, sleek building, all lit up and looking super fancy against the night. And check it out, inside that building, Key Man Song is chilling, shirtless under a hoodie, totally engrossed in his phone. He's got Kesha's Your Love Is My Drug blasting, and the vibe is all about those late-night thoughts. Then, a.m. A new message pops up on his phone, a super urgent demand, hello. Hurry up and come down. The stage is set, the lights are on, but the seats are empty. The calm before the storm, or just, empty. But then, a lone figure steps out of the darkness, a stark silhouette against the club's moody lighting. Suddenly, a voice slices through the silence, shouting to him, Mr. Key. Over here, now. He walks up to a table where a fiery red-haired woman in glasses is already waiting, and she immediately hits him with, seriously, what took you so long? He just looks down, a silent apology written all over his face. She keeps going, her voice dripping with impatience, I've been here forever waiting for you. All he can do is mumble, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. She leans in, clearly annoyed, so, we can finally start the second act, right? Come on, tell me we can. And what does he say? Another meek, I'm sorry. She lets out a frustrated sigh, then a small smile breaks through as she gives in, all right. You're making me feel bad now. Then, with a playful smirk, she asks, Key Man Song, how are you always so cool? But then, his eyes snap wide, burning an eerie red as a bizarre, mind-bending thought hits him, what is happening? He mutters another apology, his entire reality consumed by the chilling phrase, dream me. She slides him a glass of wine, then drops the bomb, can you play for me? He was stunned but played it cool, not wanting to ruin the vibe. But then, his eyes start to blaze with that freaky red glow. The red-haired woman just stares him down. Before she asks if it's even cool for him to play the piano there. He's like, yeah, it's fine. Then, she turns to another woman and drops the bombshell, Miss Hannah, you don't want to hear him play? He lets out a nervous gulp. His hands just hang there over the keys. And then, with his eyes flaring red again, his fingers absolutely fly across the piano keys, with a bassist laying down a killer groove. With the stage absolutely glowing, the duo performs while Miss Hannah watches intently from the wings, totally locked onto the pianist. A soft smile spreads across his face, eyes closed, completely lost in the zone as he pours his entire being into the performance. Miss Hannah keeps her eyes on him, a mix of intrigue and pure satisfaction dancing across her face. The melody just keeps flowing, his hands a blur of practiced grace over the keys. He's beaming, totally lost in the groove, letting the music take over. And as the performance hits its climax, Miss Hannah's eyes ignite with a soft, otherworldly purple glow, a knowing smile playing on her lips. She's radiating pure contentment, shoulders relaxed, soaking in every single moment. His fingers absolutely fly across the piano keys, with a deep, resonant cello or bass backing him up. He's totally locked in, watching a performance on his phone with an intense focus. Before diving headfirst into a virtual world with a VR headset, only to snap back and check his phone again. Suddenly, his phone lights up on the table, an incoming call from Go Joo-hee flashing across the screen. Gu Ju-yeon is all ears, a deep, thoughtful expression on her face as the chilling words "the movie is real" and "it's real" hit her hard. The scene suddenly shifts to a stunning, sun-drenched street, boasting elegant European architecture. Her eyes are distant, completely lost in thought. As she finally snaps back, delivering a firm "no. Nothing at all." Gu Ju-yeon stares into the mirror, a deep contemplation etched across her face. Elsewhere, Ki-man Song is absolutely crushing it on the piano, lost in his music, as she lets out a tiny, uncertain, Then, with a direct gaze, she asks, "Can you grab me 2 coffees?" On Jong-woo, ever curious, shoots back, "Sure, but what's the deal?" and she just gives a vague, "Yeah." He pushes back his chair, ready to move, telling her, "All right, just give me a sec." He grabs the cups, eyes downcast, getting those coffees ready. Later, Gu Ju-yeon is back to her reflection, lost in thought, her mind clearly elsewhere. On Jong-woo comes back, handing over the goods with a casual, "All right, here," and she takes it with a quick, "Thanks." Finally, she's out, taking in the epic cityscape, the urban jungle sprawling beneath her gaze. Gu Ju-yeon strides down a scenic path, her eyes locked on the ground. When On Jong-woo suddenly appears, 2 steaming coffees in hand. He offers her a cup, a simple gesture that speaks volumes. Her eyes flick from the coffee to his face, a silent exchange before she takes it with a soft, "Thanks." The warm cup now firmly in her grasp. As they share a moment in the tranquil morning. Meanwhile, a grim, imposing structure stands sentinel, its sterile corridors leading to a tense interrogation. Inside, Ki-man Song, now in an orange jumpsuit, faces the scoop ghost, who cuts straight to the chase, "Still acting, right?" His one-word answer. "Yes." He's not just good at acting, he's great, he insists, as the scoop ghost probes, "You're a huge fan of On Jong-woo, right?" His eyes practically glow as he declares, "He's not just my idol, he's my life." "I'm his biggest fan," he exclaims, prompting the scoop ghost to press, "So you're a fan? What about now?" Cut to a sleek, sun-drenched office where a sharp-suited man makes his entrance, radiating confidence. Every step is deliberate, powerful, his presence undeniable. He moves through the bustling agency, a figure of quiet authority. Until his path crosses with a familiar face. "A newbie, huh?" he muses, while Miss Hannah, with a knowing smile, asks, "First time seeing him up close, isn't it?" A beat of silence, a moment of contemplation. "He's exactly my type," he declares, as Miss Hannah enthusiastically adds, "and he's got the talent to back it up. A total rising star." The narration reveals they're both actors at the same agency, with him as the senior, starring in a drama she's also in. "That's why our agency is blowing up the industry right now," he proclaims, and Ms. Hannah quickly agrees, Ki-man Song's acting is incredible too. Ki-man Song is absolutely fuming in the office, glaring down at Gu Ju-yeon with pure frustration. She lays out the plan, saying, "Sir, it's a 2-year plan. What's your take?" But he's having none of it, firing back, 2 years? That's way too long. 1 year, that's all we need." She tries to object, but he cuts her off, doubling down, "Just 1 year." His face twists into a furious snarl, a raw expletive ripping from his throat as the pressure mounts. A soft flutter echoes as someone reaches for a massive, round handle. And nearby, a voice drops a truth bomb, "Humans are the ultimate adapters." Colored pencils, some snapped, litter the floor with a faint squeak. As Julian, once lost in identity confusion, now finds himself totally adapted to his new reality. A hand, bracelet glinting, reaches out with a soft hiss, then a sharp click. He's deep in thought, meticulously writing the Blue Ghost's past story, and grappling with the idea of the second person to me. In a brightly lit room, it's unmistakably Julian. Gu Ju-yun, fired up, warns Ki Man-sung not to fall for her tricks, declaring that the woman is just playing games. She doubles down, pointing out the woman's massive fan club as proof of her manipulative charm. But then, Gu Ju-yun's fiery resolve seems to falter, her expression turning somber. The scene shifts, finding them in a more intimate setting, a tense silence hanging between them. As they walk, Ki Man-sung starts to speak, but can't quite finish his thought. A sharp screech of tires cuts through the air, and Gu Ju-yun's face drops, a red car looming nearby. A car door clanks open, then slides shut with a decisive yes. Inside the car, Ki Man-sung, now driving, tells her to go, but then drops a bombshell, confessing he's not sure he can actually do it. He flashes back to the faces of his crew, their silent gazes burning into his mind. Later, the city lights are a blur, and he's in the car, Ju-yun's head heavy on his shoulder. They stare out at the world, the red car speeding them into the night. His mind is still racing, even with Ju-yun's silent support. Then, they're on the streets, their journey pushing forward. But as he walks, one thought screams in his head, a desperate plea for a breakthrough, I really. Then, with a sudden, explosive resolve, he snaps at himself, cut. A faint, golden energy pulses from his hand, a raw surge of his iron will. His eyes, now blazing with purpose, scream a decision made, a path locked in. Ki Man-sung flashes back to a killer photo shoot in France, wrapping it up with a shout-out to the crew. But that's just a memory, because now he's slammed back into the harsh reality of a massive, imposing building. He knew this was coming, but a heavy thought still weighs on him as he stares at the ground. He tosses out a casual, good work, to Gu Ju-yun, and she hits him back with a super cute, appa. He's a little unsure, asking if she's really cool with calling him that. Gu Ju-yun's like, come on, but the vibe is still super awkward, even after they've been hanging out for half a month. He's wondering if half a month is even that long, then he's like, where are you going, as her footsteps fade out. It feels like forever for these two, and he's yelling, Ju-yun, wait, as she keeps walking, his hand desperately reaching out. Meanwhile, Julian's totally focused, painting Ms. Hannah, while Ki Man-sung and Gu Ju-yun are just walking, their story still unfolding. He's deep in his feels, flashing back to when his time was all about Ms. Hanam. A sweet embrace from back then, totally different from his current vibe, where he and Ju-yun are together, but there's still this huge gap. He's still thinking it, that deep down, his real time here, was always with Ms. Hanam. He looks down, totally lost in thought, just soaking in all those leftover emotions. Then, a.m. A message pops up on his phone, telling him about a 2-day break, snapping him right out of his thoughts. Ju-yun then hits him with the what are you doing, and, wanna hang out, questions, but he just gives her a super awkward no. Over on another street, Julian is totally venting to Ms. Hannah about always playing the villain, and she's like, chill, it's just for now. Back to our main duo, Ju-yun and Ki Man-sung are still walking, and that awkward silence is just hanging heavy. As they split, Ju-yun gives him this super formal, good job in Korea, line, and he just mumbles, yeah. Thanks for the work, keeping it totally distant. He just stands there, watching her disappear down the street, the gap between them widening. But a crushing exhaustion washes over him, a deep, bone-tired feeling. But she's left wondering, why did he look at her like that? Was he just losing control of his feelings? And then it hits her, the real question. Ki Man-sung is on the move, navigating the airport with his luggage, ready for whatever's next. He's waving goodbye, a quick farewell to his crew. Julian, the one with reddish-brown hair, is locked on, watching him go. Man-sung's heading out, but the blonde-haired guy can't hide his worried look. That blonde-haired friend is clearly worried, his hand clenched in thought. Meanwhile, Ju-yun is absolutely hyped, her voice ringing out, let's go. And there's Man-sung, right by her side, matching her excited grin. They're off, walking into the future, ready to conquer anything. They're back. A triumphant return sees him sharing a genuine, heartwarming smile with Gu Ju-yun, the good vibes radiating. Just a few days later, the urban landscape is back to its bustling self. Ki Man-sung, still in bed, is caught in the morning's quiet, casually scrolling through his device. But the peace shatters as his phone erupts with a barrage of notifications, vibrating intensely. He snatches up the call, a clear edge of irritation in his voice as he demands to know why manager Moon Jong-bae is calling so early, what could possibly be this important. Manager Moon Jong-bae, on the other line, cuts straight to the chase, asking about his schedule and promising to send over a crucial address. Breaking news hits the feeds, screaming about a couple in the making at the Seoul's River, with a pic of Ki Man-sung and Julian chilling on a park bench. The internet absolutely explodes, with everyone asking if Ki Man-sung and the new artist are actually a thing, and the comments are going wild. But then, a new theory drops, hinting that this whole dating scandal could just be a genius marketing stunt for a new drama. Julian, caught in the eye of the social media storm, can't help but look down, clearly feeling the heat from all the sudden attention. But he quickly shakes it off, telling his buddy, seriously, don't even sweat it. Key Man Song, though, isn't buying it, warning his friend to chill out before he totally burns himself out. He lets out a small, knowing chuckle, a silent nod to the crazy situation they're in. Just then, his phone buzzes, and he picks up, looking super serious, as a text from Manager Moon pops up, confirming the address for his next mission is incoming. Still on the phone, he casually drops that he's free tomorrow, while Gu Ju-yun eyes him, wondering what he's up to. Gu Ju-yun is on the line, taking in every word as the plot thickens. But then, a soft click, Key Man Song picks up his phone, ready for whatever's next. He answers, and a familiar voice on the other end practically shouts, "Hello, Sunbi." It's manager Moon Young-bae, who immediately starts hyping up his new webtoon, asking if his senior knows the one he thinks of when he sees the baby, then brags about uploading it to his personal channel and hitting 200,000 subscribers all thanks to him. And there it is, on Key Man Song's phone screen, Julian, smiling brightly, the star of Manager Moon's viral webtoon. Key Man Song can only stare at the screen, a single word escaping his lips as he tries to wrap his head around this wild turn of events. Seriously, he's completely bewildered. Just a short while later, Moon Young-bae is already waiting in a parking lot, still on the phone, wondering where his senior is, then shouts, "I'm here." Just then, a sleek black car rolls up, its side emblazoned with the name, Key Man Song, signaling his grand entrance. Inside his car, he can only utter a single, bewildered thought. A smirk spreads across his face as he clutches his phone, the screen revealing something truly wild. The webtoon is blowing up, featuring him and Julian in candid moments, chilling at a table, then squaring off at a pool table. All caught as if by a paparazzi lens. Showing them strolling together, then a close-up of his own stunned reaction. The drama continues, with them outside a sleek, modern building. His hand tightens around the device. As the webtoon's panels flash with explosive headlines, Queen of the Seine. Is this the real deal, and Scandal Uncovered. Seine River sweethearts now Han River lovers. Meanwhile, a mysterious woman with vibrant purple hair and piercing blue eyes watches, her gaze intense. Meet Key Man Song, the rising star actor, a true prodigy who can play piano and draw like a master, no stand-ins needed. His face, plastered with 1 million views, headlines, dominates the screen. The media player confirming she's deep into the footage. Gu Ju-yun watches, her expression a mix of deep thought and subtle concern as she takes it all in. Key Man Song is chilling in his sleek apartment, but the peace is shattered by his phone blowing up. He snatches up his phone, and boom, it's Lee Han-sol calling, probably about lovers of the Seine River. Pure hype explodes through the phone as the caller screams, "Yes, hello." The ratings are insane. We just smashed 20% viewership. The forums are going absolutely wild, and every advertiser is losing their mind. Then his partner calls, dropping a playful threat, "Honey. You better not start a new project without me. Got it? Oh, and make sure you're home for the last episode party, okay? See ya." He hangs up with a quick click, a satisfied smirk spreading across his face. He checks his phone again, sees the KakaoTalk icon, and dives into the app to find a tidal wave of new messages. Lee Han-sol's messages are blowing up his screen, the drama is doing great. The ratings are absolutely amazing. It's not even out yet, but everyone is already freaking out about it. The drama's success is a whirlwind, and he's right in the eye of the storm. Shrugging off the sudden surge of attention just as his phone starts blowing up. The caller ID lights up, and it's none other than his manager, Moon Young-bae. He picks up, a simple, "hello," escaping his lips. His manager wastes no time, rattling off the offers. Director Kim Hee-yul and MBS Video Story are both calling, and he needs to pick one. The pressure is on, a decision looming. But he hesitates, a tired sigh in his voice as he asks, do I really have to do talk shows? A small, defeated sound escapes him, knowing he's probably stuck. Later, he's just chilling, watching some woman on TV, the very media world he's now dominating playing out right in front of him. The TV blazes with a dramatic scene, the Toonplus logo flashing, showcasing the very show that's made him a star. But as the drama plays out, Key Man Song's face is a mask of quiet intensity, his thoughts clearly elsewhere. Elsewhere, a sleek, modern cafe sits empty, awaiting the buzz of an upcoming event. Back in his luxurious living room, he's still glued to the screen, but you can tell his mind is already drifting. His eyes drop, a clear sign of what's coming next. Suddenly, his phone buzzes to life, flashing a message, "Congratulations. The fame is real." Then, another text, a direct invitation, "Are you coming at the last episode party?" The pressure is on. The pink phone is unceremoniously dropped, face down, silencing the digital clamor. With a heavy, "ha," He buries his face in his hand, the overwhelming reality of his fame hitting him hard. A young woman takes a moment, eyes closed, lost in thought. And a single, haunting question hangs in the air: what's wrong with me? Meanwhile, in the high-stakes CEO's office, Key Man Song is practically drowning in success, his agents throwing new offers for "The Movie Is Real" at him left and right. His manager, Moon Young-bae, is absolutely ecstatic, practically shouting, "Our Key Man Song. You're seriously the best, aren't you?" And Gu Ju-yun, another agent, points to a mountain of papers, declaring, "These are all the offers that came in for you, Mr. Key Man Song." But all this overwhelming success, it's clearly taking its toll, leaving him looking utterly drained and anxious. Moon Young-bae, completely missing the point, just keeps hyping it up, "I'm going absolutely crazy with all these offers pouring in. Seriously. They all want you for the male lead." He shoves a tablet at him, practically demanding, "Mr. Key Man Song, this one's definitely the best. Just pick something already." Diving into the mountain of scripts, he zeroes in on a single, intriguing title. His agents, Moon Young-bae and Gu Ju-yun, are on edge, and Gu Ju-yun wastes no time championing her top pick. But Moon Young-bae isn't having it, instantly pushing his own agenda, leaving Key Man Song caught in the middle, the pressure mounting. It's a showdown between Rooftop Sword Master and Ruthless Detective, and Rooftop Sword Master is already a massive hit webtoon. Each title screams blockbuster potential. But Rooftop Sword Master has a secret weapon, it's the next big thing from legendary director Lee Jung-gil. With a director like that, he can't deny it's a good watch, but he's still holding back. Moon Young-bae, practically begging him to sign on, then asks if Ruthless Detective is by Lee Chan-young, a name that draws a blank from Gu Ju-yun. He quickly clarifies that the director for Ruthless Detective is a total legend, sending Moon Young-bae into a frenzy of excitement, while Gu Ju-yun still stands her ground, absolutely against it. He's deep in thought, the pressure of his next big career move hitting hard. He's got Ruthless Detective in his hands, and the title alone feels like a mirror to his own high-stakes situation. Moon Young-bae's face is locked in a serious gaze, his mind clearly on the massive implications of everything happening. Key Man Song still processing in the hall when his agents roll up, Gu Ju-yun linking up with Moon Young-bae to drop some more bombshells. He's all ears, and his eyes pop when he gets the latest update, the CEO is absolutely livid. Moon Young-bae lays out the whole messy situation, his words hitting hard, and Gu Ju-yun's just there, radiating pure, "I told you so" energy. He's looking down, trying to make sense of it all, and suddenly, a flashback to his very first interview hits him. Then, it clicks for him, and his face just screams, "Aha!" He's at the window, staring out at the urban sprawl, and suddenly, the CEO's fury and his old choices make perfect, terrifying sense. A confident woman with dark, wavy hair flashes a knowing smirk, her voice cutting through the silence with a bold declaration. A voice cuts through the air, and Key Man Song's head snaps up, spotting Gu Ju-yun waving him down. Flashing a dazzling smile and a cool, "Long time no see." She probes about his current status, and he admits, "Nothing much, not yet. I'm not on screen right now. I guess I just don't feel it." Ju-yun confidently predicts his return to the spotlight, boasting about her own recent triumphs, "You'll be swamped soon enough. My films are blowing up." He just manages a soft, "Thanks." Suddenly, with a playful smirk, she drops a bombshell, "Wait, you're Gu Ju-yun, right?" leaving him utterly stunned. He splutters, "What?" as she casually flashes her phone, playing it cool, "Oh, it's nothing, just curious." The phone screen flashes, displaying actor Key Man Song's contact, complete with her own photo, a quick swipe sound confirming the reveal. He just stares, realizing she'd been digging into his profile. A choked, emotional laugh escapes him, a tear escaping as he finally concedes, "Gu Ju-yun, you are seriously something else." Gu Ju-yun isn't letting up, hitting him with the hard truth about his career slump, and then dropping a bombshell about a friend who's now a director, calling him a loser. She's totally reading him, calling him stiff and calm and collected, and he can only manage a stiff "thanks for the compliment" in return. But her eyes are burning with a new question, and she's not holding back, demanding the real story. Key Man Song's cool facade cracks, his eyes bugging out, as he freaks out, demanding to know how she found out about the Bae John serial murder case. She doesn't flinch, dropping the bomb that she knows his secret, he was the only one who talked to the police about it. His jaw drops, the revelation hitting him like a truck, leaving him absolutely floored. Fast forward a decade. 10 years have flown by, and everything's changed. Key Man Song is chilling with Julian, who asks about his interview, and he just gives a super vague, "It was fine" answer. Julian challenges Key Man Song's choice, pushing him to take a much-needed break from his non-stop grind. But Key Man Song fires back, highlighting Julian's own workaholic habits, a fact Julian seems to completely miss. Julian then vows to hunt down fresh scripts for Key Man Song, who reluctantly agrees to check them out. Moments later, a hand clutches a phone, its screen boldly declaring, "The show is just getting started. Enjoy it." Key Man Song waves a final farewell to an unseen figure, his silhouette framed against a sleek, modern building. The urban glow bathes the building's exterior as twilight descends. Some time passes, and he's back to checking his phone. The screen reveals a shocking news article detailing his interview, boldly linking him to the infamous lovers of the Taejun serial murder and teasing mysterious powers. A heavy, thoughtful expression settles on his face as he grapples with the article's explosive implications. Gu Ju-yun, totally hyped, leans in to ask if he saw it live, but Key Man Song just shrugs, saying he only got the intel secondhand. After a beat, he finally gets it, declaring he'll tackle the article his own way, his hand dramatically covering his face as he processes everything. But even with that resolve, you can tell he's still got some serious doubts brewing. Later, Key Man Song is just walking away from some building, looking like he's got somewhere important to be. Then, he just strolls right into another place, footsteps echoing like he owns the joint. Inside, Gu Ju-yun is all like, "Hello," and Moon Young-bae shouts back, "Ichiwai," before she hits him with another, "Hey, back." These two are just going back and forth, totally locked into their chat. They're chilling at a table, surrounded by food, when suddenly, footsteps approach from behind. And just like that, Key Man Song is standing right there, getting a nod from Gu Ju-yun and Moon Young-bae at the table. Glasses clinked, a soft echo in the bustling restaurant, as Key Man Song, Gu Ju-yun, and Moon Young-bae lifted their drinks in a celebratory toast. Their hands meeting in a powerful display of unity. A comfortable silence fell, each face alight with a genuine smile. But the real drama, the kind that makes headlines, seemed to swirl around Julian, who couldn't help but feel he was the epicenter of it all. Sporting a fresh blonde look and a killer floral jacket, he sat across from Key Man Song, a picture of cool composure that belied the storm brewing beneath. Then, without warning, his eyes behind those glasses ignited, burning with an intense, furious red. His face flushing crimson as a primal, furious shout tore from his throat. In a sudden, explosive fit of rage, he launched his phone across the room. Confusion washes over a young man, his mind reeling with unanswered questions, as Key Man Song, Gu Ju-yun, and Moon Young-bae are still deep in conversation, wondering who was supposed to handle the ratings. He throws his hands up in utter disbelief, completely stumped by what's happening. But then, a woman in glasses absolutely explodes with rage, her face burning red as she screams about a betrayal. "You promised you'd handle the ratings. You told me, don't do it, remember?" Elsewhere, a man with a dark, intense gaze watches with a chilling focus, while Key Man Song, Gu Ju-yun, and Moon Young-bae are still chatting, with one of them noting how this whole thing feels eerily familiar. Key Man Song is absolutely losing it, throwing his hands up and yelling at Gu Ju-yun. He's furious, reminding her that after his past got exposed in episode 1, their viewership crashed by over half. And he's pinning it all on her. He can't believe it, only 75 viewers for the last episode. He's screaming, it's all because of her. His face contorted in anger, he shouts, "This is on you. I never should have trusted you." The scene shifts to an office, where Key Man Song is still fuming at his desk, and Gu Ju-yun just stands there, taking it all in, completely silent. He's still going off, absolutely convinced that she's going to be the death of him. He's practically begging for a promise, though we don't hear what he's actually asking for. Key Man Song forces out a hollow, desperate laugh, right as manager Moon Young-bae bursts in, shouting, "The actor's here. Move it. Grab an outfit and get them changed." Ju-yun is hyped, throwing out a congrats, and reminding him this is his first commercial. But Key Man Song is already in his head, asking about the contract, and Julian chimes in, confirming it's a whole new deal. He then locks eyes with Ju-yun, stressing that this new contract is huge for someone like him, and they absolutely have to prove they're worth it. Later, walking with a blonde guy, he just gives a subdued "okay." Still walking with Ju-yun. He wonders aloud why he's the only one in this getup. He's striking a pose in a full historical costume, the fabric swishing dramatically. Then he's holding up an Oasis product, with a note that the background is all CG, and it's a brand new release. Finally, he's staring at a screen with viewership numbers, a narration box pointing out the average, and someone else is totally happy with the current stats. He's locked in, declaring his destiny to be a star, but even as he says it, the word "commercial" hits different, hinting at the grind behind the glam. The set is buzzing, cameras are rolling, and he's still got that fire, a silent vow to himself that he's gonna make it big. No turning back now, that star power dream is burning brighter than ever inside him. The director yells, "Action," and just like that, Key Man Song snaps into character, eyes blazing with focus. Hand up, blocking the blinding lights, his stare is pure intensity, ready for anything. Then, a blinding, almost magical light explodes across the set, making everything feel epic. He's out there, alone in this massive, empty landscape, just one guy against the sheer scale of this whole production. Because even for commercials, you gotta bring that next level commitment and artistry. From the glitz of the set to a nightmare realm, he's suddenly stranded in a brutal, sun-baked desert, every step a struggle, every breath a gasp. The horizon mocks him with its endlessness, a brutal, unchanging panorama under a sun that just won't quit. He's drenched in sweat, pushing past his limits, every gasp for air a desperate plea against the crushing exhaustion. His feet are heavy, sinking into the sand, a brutal testament to his struggle. The question screams in his head, how much more can he take? His body is on the verge of collapse, begging for a break. He's lost track of time, how long has he been out here? The desert swallows all sense of duration, yet he's still stuck, still fighting. His legs give out, he hits the sand with a sickening thump, a raw, desperate cry for water tearing from his throat. His eyes, burning with desperation, mirror the brutal, relentless sun beating down on him. He whips his head around, staring back at the endless wasteland, a crushing realization that there's no way out, no relief in sight. His mind, screaming for relief, conjures the ultimate vision of salvation, a cool, crisp drink, the only thing that can save him. The world around him warps, but the struggle is real, he keeps pushing, that phantom thirst still raging. Suddenly, a cool, solid object in his grasp, the dream is becoming real. He slams the bottle to his lips, and the first glorious drops are pure, unadulterated bliss. He chugs it down, the cool liquid rushing through him, finally crushing that unbearable thirst. A genuine, relieved smile breaks out on his face, the sheer joy of hydration obliterating the nightmare. But just as he finds peace, a sharp, commanding voice rips through the air, snapping him out of his dream. Ki Man Song's eyes snap open, disoriented, as the dream vanishes and he's back on set, with Gu Ju-yun and Julian staring down at him, worried sick. Just when you thought it couldn't get any wilder, the fourth wall shatters with an exclamation about the incredible acting, leaving us on a massive cliffhanger until the next episode. Ki Man Song, the star, takes a massive, satisfying gulp from his drink. His face plastered all over the TV screen. But off-screen, the real Ki Man Song walks away from the glow, a stark contrast to his on-screen persona, as a bearded man nearby just lets out a thoughtful, Elsewhere, a chilling document is revealed, its title screaming for attention, Drift, a journal on 48 days of survival. The action cuts to the sleek, imposing EMS building. Inside, Ki Man Song is in an office, his face a mask of pure stress as he frantically talks on the phone. Yet, even amidst the chaos, a distinct memory surfaces, a flavor he'll never, ever forget. It's the refreshing taste of that drink he had on TV, a brief escape into pure bliss. The tension is palpable as Ki Man Song, still glued to his phone, manages a strained, "Oh, yes, yes," before a quick apology, "Yeah, sorry, but our schedule is absolutely slammed right now." With a worried frown, he reiterates his apology, then cuts to the chase, "What's the deal?" Meanwhile, Moon Young-bae lets out a heavy sigh, dropping the bomb, "Ugh, man. Our confectionery and snack launch. Apparently, Sab Jean is the new face of the hottest snack, locking down an exclusive deal for their latest product." Ki Man Song's eyes widen, a sharp intake of breath as he asks, "Am I guaranteeing this?" Moon Young-bae, clearly taken aback, confirms, "Seriously? Even with him being a total rookie?" Throwing his hands up in disbelief, he exclaims, "Thanks to Man Song's ad, confectionery sales shot up 60% in just 1 week. It's not just good, it's absolutely blowing up." Ki Man Song rubs his temple, the stress visibly mounting. "So he's worth a fortune now." "Ha, great. What about me, Mr. Ki Man Song? What's the plan?" Moon Young-bae's face hardens as he delivers the bombshell, he said he wants a break. Then, with concern, "Why? Is something up?" Ki Man Song, a lone figure walking away from a towering building, seems overwhelmed by his own problems. He simply concedes, well. I guess that's just how it goes." Still on the phone, Ki Man Song is clearly feeling the heat, asking what break even means when everything's going sideways, then demanding to know who they're talking about, only to get a vague answer. Ju-yun watches him, clearly concerned. Moments later, he and Ju-yun are striding through a building, now joined by a mysterious man in shades. The man in shades suddenly throws up a hand, shouting, "Director Kong," to someone off-screen. But Ki Man Song, almost under his breath, says he really doesn't want to meet him, making Ju-yun wonder why. Director Kang's voice cuts in, revealing he's been eyeing Ki Man Song for his next big project. The director, hidden behind his shades, makes it clear he was really hoping to connect with the star. The trio keeps moving, but Ki Man Song's hesitation is palpable, the pressure clearly getting to him. He sits alone, his back to the vast, grey expanse of water, lost in thought. Beneath the brim of his cap, a somber expression clouds his face. His hands are clasped tightly as a silent plea escapes his lips, wondering why everything is happening to him right now. His thoughts drift to a painful past, recalling murder, death, and heartbreak, a desolate landscape appearing before his eyes. A quiet sob escapes him as he fears getting stuck in one of those movies where this happens again. Rising from his spot, he walks away from the water, a solitary figure against the muted landscape. Later, he checks his phone, seeing messages from Seo Han and Ju Yun. With a heavy sigh, he returns to his contemplative spot by the water. His hand clutches the phone, the screen reflecting his inner turmoil. Just as he's lost in thought, his phone blares, snapping him back to reality as he takes the call. A stunned, "Yeah, hello," is all he can manage, before a breathless, "Amazing," confirms the incredible news. Across town, manager Moon Young-bae is absolutely buzzing, shouting that director Kang is waiting at the office, ready to cast him for the lead. The weight of the offer settles on him, his face a mask of deep contemplation as he takes it all in. Still walking, the manager's words replay in his head, "He said he'd give me a call, too." Manager Moon's patience is wearing thin, his voice sharp with impatience, demanding to know if he's even still on the line. His frustration explodes, yelling for him to hurry up and demanding to know why he's dragging his feet, even shouting director Kang's name in pure exasperation. Finally snapping into action, he bolts, shouting that he's on his way. The frantic energy gives way to a serene expanse of water, its surface shimmering with soft ripples. The manager's voice is practically buzzing through the phone, hyped beyond belief, as Ki Man Song just takes it all in, a serious look etched on his features. The manager is practically screaming through the line, a total hype machine, demanding he get moving, that this is the chance of a lifetime. Ki Man Song lets out a small sound, the gravity of the situation hitting him hard, and you can practically feel the tension. Switching gears, Gu Ju Yun is on her own call, looking totally focused, and she's like, "Chief Yun." Her face totally changes, looking worried as she pushes, "What went down? Can I even ask what's up?" After a beat of silence, she finally gives the green light, "Yeah, hit me." Her eyes practically pop out as she hears the update, then she's like, "It's fixed." "Wait, what?" A kind of longing look comes over her as she confesses, "I just really thought getting to work with him again would be awesome." Her eyes just drift off, totally lost in thought, and she just whispers, "I really wanted to work with him again." She's locked in, hanging on every word, as the question hits, "Do you really want to work with Ki Man Song again?" Without hesitation, her response cuts through the air, a firm yes. The scene shifts, and director Kang, with a serious look, declares to his companion that the final call is coming soon. Ki Man Song is absolutely glued to his phone, and one thought is screaming in his head. Is this even real, he thinks, before his mind snaps into focus. "I'm telling you this right now." The screen flashes, confirming the impossible, he's the only lead. His jaw drops, "What?" And the details keep pouring in, a project with none other than director Kang, this movie. He can practically see the A-listers, the absolute best actors, the top stars, all lined up for this film. Every single one of them, the undisputed best of the best, no questions asked. His face explodes with pure hype as the reality sinks in, it's just one movie, and he's the sole lead. And the title of this epic project? It's finally revealed, Drift, a journal on 48 days of survival. He stares, a faint bruise on his cheek, the sheer magnitude of the news hitting him like a truck. Surviving for 48 days. His name, Ki Man Song, now emblazoned on a project that could change everything. Director Kang's voice booms, revealing the brutal truth, every other actor in this film is going to die. Delivering their ultimate, perfect death scenes, but he is the sole survivor, the one and only protagonist. The director hammers home the insane challenge, and Ki Man Song, utterly stunned, can only manage a choked, "Thank you." This, Kang declares, is the absolute peak of acting, the ultimate proving ground. And he promises that once this movie wraps, it's the first explosive step on Ki Man Song's unstoppable rise to superstardom. Elsewhere, the buzz is already spreading. Gu Ju Yun and Moon Young-bae stand in an office, absolutely floored. She can't even process that he's the sole lead in director Kang's epic, starring with all those legendary actors. He's locked in, absorbing every word as director Kang drops the bombshell about the film's twisted premise, and he can only nod. But the real drama's just starting, as back at the agency, Gu Ju Yun is already feeling the weight of it all. Her manager, Moon Young-bae, lays it all out, director Kang is demanding Ki Man Song be the only star, the sole protagonist. This is a game changer, a massive win for the company. But Ju Yun isn't buying it, immediately asking about the other actors. That's when Moon Young-bae drops the real bomb, not only are their fees getting slashed, but Kang wants everyone else to die in the movie. The manager's gut feeling was screaming from the start, knowing Kang's sole protagonist idea was just the tip of the iceberg, and now he knows something is seriously wrong with the director's vision. He's on the phone, absolutely furious, flat out refusing the insane demands, his voice echoing with a hard, "I can't accept this." The call continues, and he's trying to salvage the deal, promising to personally fix this mess, his determination palpable. Meanwhile, Ju Yun can't shake the bad vibes, walking away from her desk, a storm brewing. Her phone buzzes, and she snatches it up, a shocked, again, escaping her lips, wondering what fresh chaos has erupted. Her face twists in disbelief and pure frustration as the news hits her, a desperate "why is this happening to me?" echoing in her mind. Ki Man Song's jaw drops in pure shock, but Manager Moon's face is a stone-cold mask of seriousness. While Manager Moon is clearly deep in thought, Ki Man Song is just casually waving, totally oblivious to the storm brewing. Then, a sudden time jump. Wait! Manager Moon shouts, leaving Ki Man Song completely baffled. But the drama isn't over. Gu Ju-yun steps up to the elevator, the 10th floor flashing above her. With a swift motion, she swipes her card, targeting the mysterious lower levels. The basement buttons glow ominously, hinting at what's to come. But then, a twist. She hits the first floor instead. Now, she's striding through the desolate parking garage, the silence amplifying her resolve. Her determination is palpable. "We're going to have to work harder," she declares, ready to face anything. She's behind the wheel, but her mind is racing, consumed by the director's insane demands, a silent fury brewing inside. Next to her, Ki Man Song just casually drops, that the director's demands are seriously over the top. A knowing smirk crosses her face as she takes in his comment, "He's already clued into everything, isn't he?" She brushes off the idea of facing the director head-on, revealing she's already got a different angle. Her mind races, fixated on this director she's never even met, and the absolutely insane requirements he's laid out for the movie. Back at the agency, Moon Young-bae is already grilling Ki Man Song, asking if he's caught wind of the project's latest drama. He's totally in the loop, and makes it clear the director's demands are anything but confidential. Moon Young-bae lets out a heavy sigh, knowing the struggle is real, then asks if the actor is actually serious about this whole thing. With absolute determination, Ki Man Song states his intention to go through with it, no matter how tough it gets. But what does it even mean to be a good actor? He's questioning everything, even his own craft. He shouts a quick "stay safe" over his shoulder, but his mind is already on the director's insane demands. No matter how tough, he's in, and they'll just have to figure out the excuses later. A determined grin spreads across his face as Ki Man Song declares, he's in this until the very last frame. Still in his car, Ki Man Song is on the phone, wondering if the person he's calling is even awake yet. He waits, a slight frown on his face, but gets nothing back. No answer, so he parks and gets out, standing by his car in the silent garage. Next, he's in the elevator, eyes locked on the keypad, clearly on a mission. But the keypad just sits there, dead, making him wonder, seriously, why can't they get the hang of this? Finally at the door, he snaps, seriously, I'm coming in. His patience is officially gone. The door swings open, and he strides into the dimly lit room. He's fully inside now, his voice a mix of concern and pure annoyance as he demands, "And what did you do last night? Are you still sleeping?" He's absolutely fuming, letting out a frustrated sigh and wondering what on earth went wrong. But elsewhere, a yellow bus is absolutely tearing through a dark tunnel, bursting out onto a road already slick with rain. Inside, a young man with dark hair stares blankly out the window, the relentless drumming of rain against the glass the only sound. Suddenly, the bus screeches to a halt at a shelter, the rain outside absolutely hammering down with a deafening roar. He steps right into the deluge, snapping open his umbrella in a flash to block the sudden, brutal assault of the rain. The black canopy snapping open with a decisive click. He grips it tight. And just like that, he's walking away from the bus stop, vanishing into the rainy distance. A fresh face, rocking a yellow tee, is totally confused, asking if he's even an actor, and then gets hit with the confirmation, "Dude, you are an actor." Switching gears, our young protagonist from the bus is still on the move, now navigating the busy halls of some epic school or public spot. He keeps that steady pace, gliding past all sorts of cool stuff on the walls. He breezes past a counter packed with random gear, totally zoned out, probably thinking about something epic. Still on his grind, he's glued to his phone, deep in thought. He finally hits the streets, soaking in the city vibes, and glances up as the rain starts to pour down. He just keeps walking, fading into the urban sprawl, still glued to his phone, with those power lines looming above. A desolate, rusted industrial ruin looms under a muted sky. A single, heavy drop of water plunges into the void. The drip persists, now starkly contrasted against a vibrant, almost surreal flower. A colossal, skeletal mine structure pierces the horizon, a monument to forgotten labor. Then, a jarring cut to a sleek, modern facility, a world away from the industrial decay. Inside, the young man confronts an elderly woman in a hospital bed, her whispered, "I'm sorry," hanging heavy in the air. Gripping his phone, his voice cracks with raw emotion, demanding to know why she vanished for 2 decades, toiling in the mines, never reaching out. A close-up reveals a faded photograph in his hand, two hardened miners, their faces etched with struggle. Suddenly, chaos erupts in a park as children scream, one crying, "Mama," while another shrieks, "What?" Key Man Song takes a cool sip, while Moon Young-bae hypes him up, claiming his acting is leveling up and even his drink choices are getting better. Moon Young-bae keeps pushing, dropping the bombshell that the boys are watching and expecting nothing less than perfection, and Key Man Song just gives a knowing nod. Key Man Song confesses the pressure is immense, but Moon Young-bae doubles down, declaring this role is make or break for his career, and the actor can only agree that the boys are the ultimate game changers. Moon Young-bae lays it bare, the boys are the only reason Key Man Song even gets these gigs, hammering home their absolute power. Key Man Song reluctantly agrees, but his manager isn't letting up, demanding he show some serious gratitude for these chances. Visibly sweating under the pressure, Key Man Song frantically fans himself, while Moon Young-bae relentlessly drives home the point about the boys and their ironclad backing. Cut to a script reading, where Key Man Song and Moon Young-bae are front and center, their name tags proudly declaring them actor Key Man Song and actor Moon Young-bae. Moon Young-bae's jaw drops in a sudden, shocked gasp, his eyes bugging out as he blurts out a bewildered, "Huh?" Later, chilling in a hallway, Moon Young-bae eyes their close stance, then drops a bombshell, "You guys look like a couple. Aren't you embarrassed?" The tension is palpable as a guy in a blue shirt confronts someone named Dong-hoon about showing up too early. Meanwhile, a long-haired dude with a beard just scoffs, calling him kid. And a third guy in black just piles on, "You here to start something?" The blue shirt man quickly steps in, trying to cool things off, reminding them they're in front of actor Song Ma-na, the big shot himself. Suddenly, a bearded guy pops up, trying to lighten the mood by offering food and drinks, even asking if they want sashimi. The long-haired actor glances back, a look of surprise on his face as he realizes someone's already there. The blue-shirt guy gives Dong-hoon a warm welcome, saying it's nice to see him, and the actor chimes in, "It's been a while." The crew finally gathers around a table, and the blue-shirt guy playfully jabs at the actor, "Ma-na. You always play the bad guy." Someone else fires back, says "You dash," and another quips about getting paid for the remark. The blue-shirt guy then turns, probably to a manager, and says, "Manager, you're always so good at taking care of all your stars, huh?" Suddenly, a young woman with a sleek bob bursts through the door, shouting a bright, "Hi everyone." Her adorable chibi form pops up, uttering a surprised, "Oh. Ma-na, you're here." Dong-hoon's in a deep convo, and this young dude's stressing, like, "Shouldn't I be hustling harder?" But Dong-hoon shuts him down, straight up, "Nah, that emotional blackmail ain't gonna fly with me. Cut it out." Then a bearded guy jumps in, like, "Everyone's gotta be wiped," and Dong-hoon's just thinking, "Seriously, why is everyone so hyped up?" He then asks if there's enough grub, but then he's like, "Wait, that's a dumb question." Out of nowhere, Song Ma-na pops in, grinning ear to ear, yelling, "Yo! Who's the star today? Is it me?" Dong-hoon watches him come in and just goes, "Man, you must be on cloud 9, for real." Just then, Gu Ju-yeon shows up, looking totally shocked, and blurts out, "Wait, are you here for a gig or something?" She mutters to herself, "Classic model, always so dedicated. And that makeup? Must have taken forever." Dong-hoon, clearly entertained by her, just tells her, all right, stop messing with the guy." Dong-hoon is on edge, a silent question hanging in the air, "Where is he? Why the delay?" Suddenly, a voice cuts through the tension, a cheerful greeting echoing through the room. And there he is. The man himself, with a confident grin, declaring, "I'm Key Man." Gu Ju-yeon can't help but notice, a sly comment escaping her lips, "Oh, so the legend is present." Meanwhile, actor Song Ma-na takes it all in, a knowing grin spreading across his face. His gaze, hidden behind dark shades, reveals nothing. Then, with a decisive move, Song Ma-na grabs the Kang Myung script, commanding everyone to settle in because it's time to get to work. And just like that, the meeting is on. Nam Yoon-ho, Kang Myung, and the rest are locked in, all eyes on the script, ready for action. A quick order is barked out to a staffer, "Switch with the other group." The pressure is on, and everyone's on notice. But the real question comes from Song Ma-na, coolly observing through his shades, as he asks, "What's going on? Are they getting beaten up out there?" He quickly adds, a hint of confusion in his voice, "Isn't it Elder Yong-suk's shift right now?" The tension is palpable as three other men hang on every word, their faces etched with a mix of worry and thought. Taking off his shades, Song Ma-na ponders, a thought sparking in his mind, Kang Myung. That name just clicks. A plan forms in his mind, as he declares, "All right, I'll practice Baek Tae's voice and tone for the scene." The bedroom is eerily quiet, a stark contrast to the impending departure. A crisp white card is held aloft, its subtle rustle hinting at a significant exchange. With a determined stride, the young man pulls his suitcase, ready to embark on his journey. As Ki Man Song sees him off in the hallway, the young man confirming his imminent departure. But Ki Man Song isn't just saying goodbye, he's laying down a lifeline, insisting the young man call if anything goes wrong, vowing to assist however he can. Alone in his room, the young man stares at his phone, a silent plea escaping him, why can't he just return home? He's burdened by the trouble he's caused. Back in the hallway, Ki Man Song's frustration boils over, bluntly stating that the young man wouldn't feel sorry if he hadn't caused so much trouble in the first place. But as Ki Man Song turns to leave, the young man's voice cuts through the air, a desperate, questioning, Hey. He's pouring out his heart, a desperate apology on his lips. But Ki Man Song. He just lets out a frustrated sigh, a curt, be safe, as he watches him go. After a grueling day of mining, sirens blaring, mask off, sweat wiped, and a lunch from his stubborn caretaker, Hyun-soo finally collapses into his desk chair. He grabs a book, diving into its complex world. Totally zoned in, he devours the words. His gaze, laser sharp, devours every word. He's locked in, eyes on the screen, hyping himself up. Stay alert, stay focused, he thinks, because tomorrow is the big day, the first shoot. Deep into the night, he's still grinding, the screen's light his only companion in the dark. But the world keeps turning, revealing a breathtaking vista, a serene escape under a vast, cloudy expanse. And a massive, sleek structure dominates the horizon, shining brilliantly in the daylight. Even in a lavish, spotless bathroom, a silent, almost regretful thought echoes, what a waste. Hyun-soo, bottle in hand, swings open a door, ready to conquer whatever comes next. Meanwhile, a sharp-suited figure stands by a sleek white car, his mind laser-focused on one thing, profit. The asphalt blurs as a car tears down a winding road, engine screaming, blah. And in the back of a speeding car, a mysterious hooded figure is deep in thought, poring over a crucial document. Suddenly, the view explodes into a sprawling industrial complex, a massive backdrop for whatever's coming next. Then, a stark white wall appears, slapping down a stop-only sign, a clear warning in this massive, mysterious zone. But inside, the real action begins as Ki Man Song, the young actor, gears up, pulling on his shirt, ready to absolutely crush this pivotal scene. A smiling older guy steps in, helping him fix his collar, the silent hype man before the big take. The energy is electric. Someone hypes up, this is my first shoot with Song Gang soon, then drops the mic with, let's crush it and make zero mistakes. Ki Man Song takes it all in, a serious look on his face, thinking, short scene or not, that feeling from the entrance of the nine. Unforgettable. Out on the set, surrounded by the buzzing crew, someone whispers, is something about to go down? Ki Man Song just chills, soaking in the chaos of the crew, the pressure of the scene building up. Then, with a final command, he just nods and says, got it. I'll do that. He's on set, the colossal crane dominating the skyline, as the crew buzzes around him, gearing up for the shot. Taking a quick break, he chills with Gu Ju-yeon, who asks if he's hyped or nervous, but he's just cool, calm, and collected. Costume on, the actor Ki Man Song is locked in, ready to dominate the scene. He's thinking, yeah, probably, while down below, Hyun-soo drops the news to Dong-hoon, Song Gang Soon and actor Kim Myung-jin are en route. Dong-hoon's hyped, asking if their big scene is finally happening. He's like, no clue, as Hyun-soo drops a bombshell, the director is playing the nine. Dong-hoon's jaw practically hits the floor. Elsewhere, Hyun-soo, Dong-hoon, and another guy are absolutely booking it, a blur of motion against the backdrop. Next thing you know, they're in a car, the third guy flooring it down the highway. The red whip is gone, blasting towards their next move. The red car blazes across the bridge, leaving the urban sprawl in its dust, heading straight for the unknown. Below, a serene river cuts through the land, a stark contrast to the impending drama, with people oblivious to the unfolding events. Arrival. Hyun-soo bursts from the car, a quick "oh" escaping his lips as he scans the scene. Gu Ju-yeon is already there, back turned, a silent invitation for him to approach. He spins around, a question already on his tongue, calling out, "Mes, ha na." They stand, locked in hushed conversation, the tension building with every unspoken word. The script was supposed to be a simple, tender moment, a kiss. But the news hits Hyun-soo like a truck, his jaw dropping as he shouts, what? A kiss scene. The film set looms behind them, the stage now perfectly set for this shocking revelation to play out. He couldn't even process it. His first ever shoot, and it's a full-on kiss scene with Ms. Hana. That bombshell hit hard, and he just had to turn away, trying to wrap his head around it all. But the show must go on. On the buzzing set, director Kong was already hyping everyone up, demanding if they were ready to roll. Hyun-soo just chilled on a stool, taking in the whole scene as Gu Ju-yeon hung out close by. Then, she started heading deeper into the action, eyes locked on something far off. Back with him, Gu Ju-yeon blurted out, Ki Man Song. He scanned the set, thinking, why is he by himself? Where's his manager? Chilling under an umbrella, Gu Ju-yun spilled the tea. Director Kong had some urgent business. And to top it off, she mentioned a last-minute change to the shoot schedule too. A voice booms, kicking off the scene. The clapperboard slams down, screaming, scene, kiss for Director Kong, and it's go time. In a breathtaking river setting, Hyun-soo and Ms. Hannah are poised against the mountains, ready for their moment. Hyun-soo shifts, a deep look in his eyes, anticipating the scene. Ki Man-sung, lost in character, smiles softly, feeling the emotion. Ms. Hannah's hand finds Hyun-soo's face, their eyes meeting, a powerful connection igniting between them. A moment of pure silence hangs, Hyun-soo absorbing every detail. Later, Hyun-soo is lost in thought, staring out at the cityscape, the scene replaying in his mind. Is this even real? He can't help but wonder if this tender moment is actually happening. He pulls her close, but a hidden gaze watches, a silent observer from the shadows. A hand shoots out, a desperate plea escaping his lips, no. I can't let you go again. Oblivious to the unseen drama, he gently takes her hand, his gaze full of warmth. She melts into his arms, their forms merging, surrounded by a radiant, almost magical aura. His hand gently cups her head, drawing her even nearer. Their faces inch closer, eyes fluttering shut in pure anticipation. Their lips finally meet, a tender kiss, frozen in a perfect moment. The kiss intensifies, a silent vow passing between them, and then, the simple, powerful declaration, I love you.